Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy back at it again. Folks, welcome to another edition of the Rico Report brought to you by the Buffalo Fanatics. And I'm joined by two very sexy individuals. I got my guy.
Well, thank you.
Psych. My man Evan is here joining up. He got moved up. You know what I'm saying? Right now, next to me, and I got my guy, the sexiest guy in Rochester, my guy. This is the man, Z-Bod. What's happening, Z-Bod? Caroline, I hope you're watching today. Your boys representing Caroline. I love Caroline shows a lot of love. She watches all shows that you do.
I know this one was a little last minute, though. I don't even think I told her. She had a busy day today. I think she's passed out. We'll cut her some slack. But
well, listen, she will find out and she will join. And I know it because she sends you mad love. So I love every bit about it. Evan's here. You gentlemen joined camp today. You guys will have lots to talk about. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of questions from some folks watching. For those that are tuned in from the Facebook crew, salute to you guys. For those tuned in from the YouTube, salute to you guys as you fill in the room. And we are live on Twitter as well. Second time. I'm not a big fan of Twitter, but you know what? Twitter, we're here. So you might as well show some love. So if you
talk down on Twitter, man, that's the best social app. That just doesn't. You're a big Instagram story guy. You love the Insta stories.
The Insta stories, bro. Listen, it's about the kids and it's about food. Yeah. If you see me, man,
Instagram's got that. You know.
Listen, I made these bomb ass steaks. Let me tell you something. Can I get into a story? Can I get into a story?
Please.
Listen, I love to cook. I am, dude. Like the last 4 or 5 years, I've kind of taken the role of just doing the cooking. I love doing it, but like I've been the main person cooking the crib because I just like to do it. And barbecuing it's an art. You can't just get a barbecue and slap meat on there and then time it out and take it off. You just can't. Steaks are an expensive piece of meat first and foremost, and you can't just slap it on and time it because you always hear it. 3 minutes here, get your crisscrosses, another 3 minutes, get it on the other side, and I always overdo it. So I got myself a freaking thermometer, a meat thermometer. What a difference maker. What a difference maker.
That's a purchase.
You're never going back.
I'm never going back. I'm poking. It's going to sound weird like I say this, but I'm poking that meat, right? Just to make sure that temperature is just right. And it was. And I'll tell you, my wife was like, yo, this is it. Even the kids. One of my daughters is brutally honest. She'll tell me, ooh, daddy, this is a little dry. Hurts to the core. But this time she was like, wow, this is really good. So meat thermometers, I'm telling you right now, is the wave. I don't know what took me so long. I've been eyeballing my steaks, eyeballing chicken on the damn grill this whole damn time. Meat thermometer, way to go. Anyway, I don't know.
You know what? What kind do you have? Meat thermometer.
I just picked up a generic one on the old Amazon that I've been watching for a while, and then went on sale, and I was like, there it is. Look it off the wish list.
Well, I got a gift for you when you come up for the game. Then let's just say that I got something that might take that newfound love to a whole other level. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. So I got myself a nice barbecue. I got my meat thermometer. The one thing that I do want to get, the wifey is hating heavy, is a smoker. I would love to get myself a smoker, not a big one, just one, just to the side. And if I want to, smoke the meat, you could do that. But right now I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna just use.
Well, I'll tell you this. For work, we had to film a small one, right? So there's various levels to these smokers. You can get really crazy with it, but the one you're talking about, it's perfect. It's like this. It's smaller than a grill, and you can do a bunch of stuff with it. You just throw the wood in, you throw your stuff in, let it rock for the day, and you're golden. I mean, you don't need anything crazy, and they're not expensive either.
All right, listen, I'll take your word for it.
Hey, Mr. Harrington coming in here, by the way, he's on to something about that gift that I got for you. So now you need to really, really get on your horse about getting up here for the opener.
Hey, well, listen, that's what we're working on right now. We're working out right now to try to get to the home opener. But folks, before we get into anything, we always talk about things that are going on around the league. So let's get into it. The first story that I have going on right now is the Browns and Deshaun Watson. So the Browns are like, F it, man. Whether he's getting suspended, whether he's not getting suspended, we are going to play him in the preseason games up until week 7, until the decision is made by the Commissioner Goodell. Really, I mean, we've talked about this Deshaun thing at length. I'm over it. You know what I'm saying? Give him his punishment and call it a day. And then when he serves it, he's back playing the football. But how do you guys feel about him playing the preseason games? Are you in for it? Are you like, nah, I don't really give a damn. Who gives? It's Watson. What are your thoughts? I'll start with Evan. Evan, talk to me, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're talking about a guy in Deshaun Watson who basically sat out the entire 2021 NFL season. And, he's coming into a new offense, coached by Kevin Stefanski. And there's some new receivers in this offense as well. You have Amari Cooper coming in, right? You're going to have an emerged David Njoku. Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to take another role. You have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. And, Deshaun Watson is going to have to get tight and really create a lot of chemistry with these players. And I think he's going to have to take those meaningful reps in preseason. This isn't a guy like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert, where they're already solidified within their system and they can just kind of relax, maybe play one drive, but, just relax and just kind of work, behind the scenes in practice, before game time. Deshaun Watson, has been playing during camp and he's, had some good connections with guys like DPJ, et cetera. But, you got to get those valuable reps in game time situations. And I think he's going to have to do that throughout preseason. And they're playing Watson throughout preseason, which I think is a smart move.
I like that. Zebot, you care for it?
Listen, I could go on all day about whether I care for it or not as far as him as the person and the situation's concerned. But listen, you want to talk about a guy who absolutely needs to play in the preseason. It's Deshaun Watson. We're going on almost 2 years since he's played a meaningful snap of football on a live football field in a professional setting. He sat out the entire year last season. So the last time we have seen him on the field, we're going on 2 years. Not only that, but you got to imagine the mental impact that this entire situation has had on him. Not only that, but the expectations to live up to an absolutely monumental, historic contract that could have ripples throughout the league for years to come when it comes to guaranteed money and paying a quarterback. There is a lot on the shoulders of Deshaun Watson. And when I take a look at it from the perspective of the Cleveland Browns, I need to make sure that when he is ready to go, at least he has some reps in him out on the field to be able to carry him into regulation play. Because even if he doesn't, the NFL is appealing this ruling right now. Right. And the way things look, the 6-game suspension might just be a placeholder. It could very well be longer. But let's just say hypothetically, it stays at the 6-game mark. If you look at the games that he has to get into, that he has to play as the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, when he does return, it is no easy task. He starts off with the Baltimore Ravens. He's got to play the Bengals. He's got to play the Dolphins and then our Bills. It is an uphill climb for the Browns in general, let alone Deshaun Watson, who we all know he's capable of being a top 5 quarterback in this league. But I said on my show just a couple of days ago, football is kind of like dog years. And when you take 2 years off like he has up until this point, and you add on top of the fact that he has been dealing with all of this off-field stuff, it's going to be interesting to see what he brings to the table. And playing in the preseason, you got to think gives him at least some benefit moving forward.
And I'm gonna agree with both you guys, man. It's you got to. A lot of people have been talking about how he probably won't be as good anymore, and he hasn't played in over a year, so there's a lot of rust he's gonna have to shake off. Yes, although it's preseason, how much they allow him to play. I mean, that they can't allow him to play too long either, because that is something that they've invested a lot of money into. So just because he's going to get suspended doesn't mean that you want to risk him getting injured. So, but you also want to see what he presents and gives you on the field. I mean, Watson is an elite player, so I'm sure he's going to show out. But very interesting that the Browns decide to jump in and give him that opportunity to play. Speaking of opportunity to play, Kenny Pickett might have an opportunity to play for the damn Steelers, because right now Trubisky ain't looking so hot. Did we anticipate? I'm gonna go to my man Rev here. I said Rev. My man Zebot. Did we anticipate that Trubisky would struggle, or did you have an idea that maybe it's his job and he'll probably be the week 1 starter and that's a good fit for him? Or did you feel that maybe he could be pushed by the rookie?
Look, everybody in here, we're 100 deep right now. Shout out everybody watching on this Thursday night before the game kicks off. We're in a rain delay for the Hall of Fame football game tonight. Everybody in here knows I'm never wrong, right? I'm right 99.99% of the time. But when I am occasionally wrong, I will have to be the bigger person, of course, and admit it. And if you remember correctly, I had said that this was a massive get for the Pittsburgh Steelers without having a legitimate replacement for Big Ben after his retirement. I thought I thought what the Steelers had done this offseason, going out and getting Mitch Trubisky, who I have felt, you look around the league here and see other guys who get opportunities, and you compare him to Mitch Trubisky. I thought, is Mitch Trubisky truly any worse than a few of these other guys who are starting right now or close to it, right? Especially like you look at the situation in Seattle, and I looked at what I felt to be, a really tough situation for both parties. And I thought to myself, well, would I rather have Drew Lock starting for my football team or Mitch Trubisky? And I'm taking Mitch Trubisky. I also looked at Pittsburgh and I said, well, if you can make the playoffs with Big Ben 3/4 of the way out the door, you got to think Mitch Trubisky makes them a better team. And based on what we're hearing early on here out of camp, I could not have been more wrong. There was a story that came out that Mitch Trubisky, he missed on 16 consecutive reps inside the red zone in a drill. He missed on his throw 16 consecutive times. I'd have to imagine any one of us here could at least make a completion in 16 attempts, whether it be
a dump off
one of those little dump throws to the running back right in front of you. I have no idea how you could possibly kick the year off that poorly. But if I'm in Pittsburgh right now, and I'm looking at, the situation moving forward, and I have a guy like Kenny Pickett who potentially could be the future of this franchise, and then I see Mitch Trubisky doing that, I feel like you'd have no choice but to go with Kenny Pickett and start the future now.
Already. Woo. I'm going to go to listen, Evan, give me a glimmer of hope. Give me a glimmer of hope for Mitchell Trubisky.
Well, all right. So I'm just going to basically kind of state it out like this. I'm not too worried for Mitch Trubisky in Pittsburgh. There's just too many weapons around that guy for him to, just tank and foul. I mean, you got guys like Chase Claypool, first round pick, and George Pickens. They just extended one of the top receivers in the game in Deontay Johnson. They drafted Najee Harris last year. They got one of the top young tight ends in Pat Freiermuth. Right there. You got 5 playmakers that you can get the ball to easily. Now, do I think that Trubisky is going to be the franchise leading savior quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers? No, I don't think he is. But I think he can be serviceable enough to when maybe a guy like Kenny Pickett needs to come in, he'll do that. Hearing that he missed 16 consecutive throws in the red zone in camp just a while ago is not good to hear, because when you look at some of the Bills camp, you see guys like Case Keenum and Matt Barkley making dump throws to the running backs in the red zone, even though, obviously they're not on the level of Mitch Trubisky.
Right.
But here, I'm going to throw a little curveball for you here. There was also a little bit of reports saying that, it is Trubisky's, battle to lose. Like, Trubisky is, as of right now, the starting quarterback, but it is his battle to lose. They still have a guy in that quarterback room with the name of Mason Rudolph.
Stop it.
Who has been in that system. Yeah, I'm saying it. I'm saying it. Mason Rudolph has been in that system for a few years now. For some reason, Mike Tomlin likes him, even though he got bashed in the head a few times by Myles Garrett's helmet. Mason Rudolph is still a quarterback within that system that is competent enough for Mike Tomlin's liking. And if Kenny Pickett or Mitch Trubisky isn't living up to the standards that Mike Tomlin wants out of a starting quarterback, I wouldn't be surprised if week 1 you see a guy like Mason Rudolph taking, first team reps for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Lovely to hear that you mentioned Mason Rudolph. It's funny because I was like,
I know he sucks, but man,
when the draft where Allen was drafted, thank goodness, I was like, man, maybe we'll get Mason Rudolph. I'm like, could you imagine? I was like, okay, because I thought Josh Rosen was going to be the guy. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. We took Josh Allen. Okay, cool. But I was ready to settle for Mason Rudolph if we didn't get Lamar Jackson or that. My goodness. So good on that. Didn't Mason Rudolph lose competition to Duck Hodges for crying out loud a couple years back? So, like, you mean to tell me that
they were flip-flopping back and forth.
I am buying it. Evan, you did your very best. I did say try to talk him up, Trubisky, but then you brought out Mason Rudolph. So maybe you don't have any trust in my guy, Trubisky.
Well, yeah. Yeah, no, I've just been taking what I've been hearing out of Steelers camp, that if there is a last-second desperation pull within the quarterback room, they wouldn't be opposed to going back to Mason Rudolph, just because he has the system under his belt probably better than Trubisky and Pickett as of right now.
Well, at the end of the day, too, Mike Tomlin never once in his career has had a losing record. If there's somebody who can kind of tuck under the rug, so to speak, the failures at the quarterback position, it's probably the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, Big Ben the last 2 years was egregiously bad, and they still were in the thick of things both years. So I don't even know if it definitely matters as far as if you want to actually compete at the higher level. But when you take a look at the Steelers in general, they almost always find a way to make it happen no matter what the situation is. So it'll be interesting to see how it all pans out depending on who's starting. But this year in particular, with the AFC being the way it is, and that division is no joke.
No freaking joke.
They're going to need to figure it out quick.
Yeah, here it is. I just wanted to look up just to kind of see more news on Mason Rudolph. This was reported by Sports Illustrated. Steelers quarterback notebook, Mason Rudolph gets first team reps.
First team reps? My gosh. I guess they're really
This was a day ago. This was a day ago. So it goes, yeah, Rudolph and Trubisky split reps just about down the middle, with Trubisky taking 7 shots work, and then the two splitting the time the rest of the day.
Thank you, Rico.
Yeah. I had to do that. Well, listen, I'll tell you this much. They've got a mess on their hands over there in Pittsburgh. You know, also has a mess on their hands. Those two bozos that thought that they could clap back at your boy B Rev and my man Zeba, but boy did they fail. I mean, shoot. I mean, I heard they had a clap back. I don't know if it's even worthy to even call it a clap back. But apparently they liked you, but they had you. They had your mug up.
They, like I said, I am the most non-confrontational person, but man, these Dolphins are eating at me this offseason. I don't know what it is, but I was informed that they spent quite a few minutes of their show this past week dissecting my post-game, and this is where you both will know. They were dissecting my post-game reaction to Bills-Chiefs division.
Oh, that's weak.
And for those who remember, that was essentially a 2-hour funeral. Right. So it got to that point in the show, and I go, I cannot possibly sit and watch people critique me reacting to that game, because it's bad enough
your emotions
myself relive it, let alone people piling on top of it. So
absolutely,
who the hell knows? I probably will never watch it, but I will say the portion in which I did watch, I'm not entirely sure who amongst the trio of guys that were on the show said this, but somebody went as far as to say the Bills could potentially finish 4th in the division if perhaps Josh Allen just gets some phantom injury. I mean, couldn't you say that about any team ever in any sport? Absolutely. You know, if your best player gets hurt, yeah, you're more than likely not going to do as well as if he didn't get hurt. So I don't know.
I think their argument too was that, like, if Josh Allen were to go down, they're done. And if we were to lose Tua, that's the problem. Therein lies the problem.
Is Case Keenum still not a viable quarterback in that division? If Josh Allen were to disappear tomorrow, you tell me, because I got to tell you, I think he'd do just fine.
The same Case Keenum that took the Vikings to the playoffs and, saying it almost made a run, but you got Teddy Bridgewater.
It's one of my favorite clips
ever.
One of my favorite clips ever. I got to just say this real quick. Every time I hear Case Keenum. So Case Keenum, Minneapolis Miracle with the I'm getting a FaceTime if you can hear that. Apologies. So Case Keenum, Minneapolis Miracle to our boy Diggs. And that was when Kirk Cousins was hurt. And, so it was Case Keenum. All of a sudden, man, shit, they're going to the NFC Championship, right? And so it was being broadcasted by Fox. And you have to listen real closely to hear this. Oh, my God. I'm getting – can you hear that?
Maybe the Dolphins guys are trying to get you.
No kidding. But what I'm getting at here is during that segment, they're transitioning to the commercial break after the game. And Joe Buck, it's on Fox, Joe Buck goes, and Case Keenum leads the Vikings to the NFC Championship. And you can hear Troy Aikman just start dying laughing.
Oh.
Joe Buck goes, and Case Keenum, and Joe just starts dying. You got to go watch the end of the Minneapolis Miracle to pick it up, because no one ever said anything about it. But I watched it over and over again, and I'm like, oh, my God. I don't know why this is so funny, but it is. It was hilarious.
Listen, that same year that Case Keenum took the Vikings to the playoffs, Bortles was one of the other quarterbacks that had the Jaguars up in the playoffs. Like, dude, there are 4 quarterbacks that were left in the playoffs were just quarterbacks. You're like,
I know. You remember that year? That was a crazy year.
It was a crazy year. What else? You know what? Something else is kind of crazy. You wanted to touch on something about merchandise.
I did.
And it had you kind of feeling kind of crazy. So the floor is yours. Talk on it.
I'm a big merch guy, huge, just a degenerate collector when it comes to things that I like. I spend a lot of money on very frivolous, stupid things that are collectibles. Very much into the Bills collection, Dave Matthews, South Park, and Spider-Man. Those are my 4. I don't know if I give it off that much, but I got this nerdy side to me, and that really comes out when it comes down to, like, I don't know, man, like action figures, toys, you name it. You kid at heart, right? Mm-hmm. So naturally, I'm like a moth to the flame when it comes to the merch, man. I love it. I love, browsing around. What do they got? What's new this year? And one of my favorite things that I always loved about training camp at St. John Fisher is they would put up a massive carnival size tent. I mean, it's crazy how big this thing was. Air conditioning, the whole 9. I mean, this tent is industrial as it gets. It's essentially like another home or another building, but it's just a tent. And inside of it, they would set up basically a pseudo Bills store. If you've ever been to the Bills store at the Ralph, it's massive, it's gorgeous, and they got everything you could imagine that has a Bills logo on it for sale. I always loved that. And they also had like signed memorabilia, through the moon, you name it, they had it in there. And me and my dad walk in today into the practice, and they did away with it. Gonzo. They no longer have the massive merch tent. They replaced it with 2 trailers that pretty much only sell jerseys, hats, and like mini helmets. And they only had 2 of those. There was nothing there that they had in comparison to what it used to be.
Right.
My only thought was, I'm guessing they scaled it down to the things that people bought the most, and the rest of the stuff is just online or whatever. But I always thought that was a cool draw, having that big, because in Rochester, we don't have the Bills store or anything similar to it like there is out in Buffalo. So in that, that particular aspect of it was unique to me. You don't get to do that in Rochester often, but they did away with it. And that to me really pissed me the hell off. I was looking forward to going in there and walking around, and they didn't have it.
So
yeah, I got actually I got a small story about some merchandise too. You mentioned like how they don't carry the bigger items just because, they had those small little like trucks with just a bunch of smaller size merchandise. One of the guys was like, "Hey, do you have this bigger size flag?" And they had a 3x5. I don't know exactly what size he wanted, but he wanted a bigger size Bills flag. Then they go, "Oh no, that's at our main store in Buffalo. You'd have to either order it online or go all the way to Buffalo, make that 1.5-hour drive just to get that little flag you want."
They got to make it more.
And I I'm not saying like they have to open up a year-round store like that in Rochester, but like it's nice just for camp. It's just another amenity that makes it better. And don't get me wrong, they do a great job there with the kid stuff, the food trucks, the food, the lemonade, just everything in general with the fans. But man, that tent, that's just iconic.
Tell me,
like I remember,
right? Wasn't that's a good way to put it? It almost symbolized the camp because not only that, Rico, because you haven't been, right? Obviously,
not yet.
You also, and I'm sure Evan, you remember this. That's how you entered the practice.
Yes.
In order to get into the practice, and it was genius because they forced you to walk through that merch tent.
You have to.
God knows I'm going to get distracted. Next thing you know, the credit card's being swiped. You had to walk through there. And that's gone now. You just walk in and then you go to the field. So I always thought it was a cool way to kick the day off because you walk in and you're immediately surrounded by this whole like presence of like Bills fanhood, right? And that's no longer exists.
Yeah, it gives you actual vibes of the Orchard Park Bills store. And there's just one more thing I want to note while we're on this like little side topic with like merchandise and stuff. So those like kind of cutout things they have where you can like kind of plop your face in it. You take a picture.
Where you're going with this. Yeah.
You're not going to believe who they have still at training camp. Rico, I want you to take a guess.
No, that's at my part of my collection. I told you I collect stuff. I got the Peterman cut out in the basement.
There you go.
That doesn't. Rico, I want you to take a guess of what like high-end Bills player that used to be on the roster years ago that is still there as a cutout for like little kids to take pictures in.
Fred Jackson.
No.
I wish I'd take a picture in that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's number 14.
Oh, really? Fitzy.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh, I really wish they had that. I would have been all over that.
Number 14. So who else is number 14? Who the heck? Who else?
He's been making the rounds in the league recently.
Getting passed around.
He thought he was going to be the savior in the air game.
Passed around. Who's number 14? You
thought he was going to be the second coming to Andre Reed when we drafted him. Wore orange and white in college.
I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm drawing.
Should I tell him?
Clemson grad.
Keep it going.
Really?
It's
Dreadlocks.
Naaman Roosevelt. I'm trying. No, he went to.
Man, what else could you even say at this point?
Mr.
Poppin' Ankle.
Frequently injured. Yes, very frequently injured.
Oh my God, the Lizard. Or he calls himself the Lizard or whatever the hell he is. Sammy Watkins.
Swatkins.
Yes.
Why?
So
I don't know.
So it's funny because when you take a look over to the right, like to the right from my point of view, I see 14. I'm like, oh, that's Stefon Diggs. But then you take a look at it, it's got like the dreadlocks on the side. Like that's Sammy Watkins. And
I will say this,
it's Watkins.
I will say this though. When's the last time they're at St. John Fisher? Like a couple years back, like a year.
I think it's been 3 years.
You know what I mean? So like they're a little rusty. So they gotta, you know what I'm saying? They gotta
Yeah, they wiped the cobwebs off that thing just for this weekend. You know what I mean?
There's like 3 of them. There's 3 of them.
I know.
There's like 2 or 3 of them just around. And it's hilarious because he's been off the team since 2017.
Here, they need to put me in charge of this because for somebody who knows what they're going to make a killing on, I'd be the perfect guy. The one thing I would do that they're not doing enough of, I would have Josh Allen's face or 17 on everything down to the napkins. I mean, that is what it all comes down to there. You look at what happens after the practice ends. The way it is, the way Peter King put it is essentially perfect. Maybe not on the scale of what the Beatles are, but in Buffalo and Rochester, Josh Allen is Paul McCartney, right? And when we're at the stadium here during practice and the practice ends, everybody's waiting for the autographs, right? But you don't know exactly where Josh Allen will go. So people line up in droves on different sides of the field anticipating where he might go. So today, I tweeted out the video on the Fanatics page, but you might not be able to tell exactly how much hype there really was. But the second he turned around to go to the one side, which was the far end zone, not only did were they like, oh, we're gonna get an autograph, the entire crowd of people along the fence start cheering like, the Beatles just walked on stage ready to take the set. And that was just because he turned in the direction to walk their way. I mean, that's just what it is at this point, right? And I love it because that means things are going well. But if I'm the merch team, man, I mean, we got to be cashing in on that. JA is the face. And like someone just said in here, they'd buy a Josh Allen napkin. Who the hell wouldn't? I know I'd have a set or 2 over in the kitchen. Why not?
Well, Jason Taylor wants to know who would be on the toilet paper.
Ooh, man, we could have a variety of options there if you'd like.
I got a nice one.
You have to go
blown up here, man.
Mr. Bobby Hart, because
Yo, this guy's stupid.
valid reason.
Bobby Hart.
I never get this many
Caroline,
calls
your
in
man
my
is busy. He's gonna be busy for another half hour to 45 minutes. I promise you can have him back after.
Nobody ever calls me. Now all of a sudden I'm getting blown up. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's come on with it.
Doing that on purpose. That's exactly right. Yeah, you didn't pick up, so she's gonna keep calling your ass.
Well, Caroline's not the one calling right now. Now she's gonna get suspicious.
Yeah, there you go. So now to kind of go on a lighthearted note, there was something that happened at camp today that it actually spoke. It spoke to me a lot, and I thought it was really cool. So for me, without even explaining going into explanation, I'll just play the clip and I'll let you guys see it for yourself. Let me just cue this bad boy up, and then I'll go into my little thing here after.
Diggs.
It already happened. Can I come next time? Yeah, you got a go-kart date? Good job, buddy. Can I come to the go-kart date? I want to ride a go-kart. Well, tell your mom to come and go to the go-kart. Can you ask her for me? Do something better.
Diggs.
So let me tell you what's really cool about this video. So this young boy by the name of Aiden Laberty, I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, recently had his father pass away. I'm not sure the details, but this young man, this young boy was in the stands, and Diggs, I guess, caught wind of that news and brought that little boy over and had a moment with him. And you don't realize how impactful moments in your lives are. And I think that was really cool. And it impacts me because I lost my father at 9 years old, right? So at 9, you're a mere little boy, right? There's so many things you can learn from your pops as you get older. For even like the cliche things like shaving and driving and all those little things, right? And this young boy gets brought to training camp, and he gets to meet one of the superstars on this team. And you never know what that little moment could do for such a young little boy. And he can grow up, you know what? I'm in the league because of you. You might see this young Aiden in the league or doing something special. And I thought that was such a special moment because life is so short. Things can happen really quickly and be taken away. But this little moment that Stefon Diggs cut aside for this young boy was truly amazing. And I that touches me. I'm sure it touches a whole lot of people. And these are training camp, what it's all about, right? When you don't have these opportunities all the time, and these guys are close to you, you can talk to them, and once the season starts, you can't have that. So this was super cool. Yo, big shout out to my man Stefon Diggs. And I mean, you guys see the relationship Stefon Diggs has with his brother, and I believe their father isn't in their lives anymore. So it's like a double whammy, man. He knows what that feels like. And you know the relationship that he has with his brother. So this is really cool to see Stefon Diggs come out and make that happen. So salute to Stefon Diggs, salute to the Bills and the whole organization, man. It's like it's A+ run from Brandon Pagulas all the way down to freaking the groundskeepers. You saw Baldinger was talking about how the groundkeepers today were working as a team, filling in the divots of the ground. So salute to this whole damn organization. This was a very cool moment. I had to show love because that was super dope. And with that being said,
hold on, I got to get in on that because I love this. To me, it's the most underrated aspect of an organization, and I talk about it time and time again. I mean, if you've spent any time at all ever watching me, on this platform, you have probably heard once or twice me harp on a situation exactly like this. And this isn't even the first example of a situation like this at this year's camp. Just last week, there was 2 kids who were at the camp from the Boys and Girls Club who were in the autograph line, who didn't have any Bills merchandise to get signed by Josh Allen. So Josh Allen takes off his own cleats from his own feet, signs each cleat, and gives each one of those boys a signed cleat. And to Rico's point, you think they'll ever forget that? No. When Rico, Evan, and I were at the West Her Media Day, and this particular moment I'll never forget, because just because I already had so much respect for Deion Dawkins, I already looked at that guy, and I told him this when I interviewed him last year. I said, your personality is second to none, and I asked him about it, and he told me flat out that he'd be the same person today if he wasn't in the NFL as he is right now as an ascending superstar in this league. That was right after the shooting at the Tops grocery store. And Rico and I were getting set to interview Deion Dawkins, and we couldn't. And he told us, boys, I'd love to sit down with you guys. And believe me, nobody loves the Fanatics more than Dawkins. But he couldn't because he was on his way to attend a little boy's birthday party whose father was just killed in that shooting. in Buffalo. And on top of that, speaking of that shooting, Stefon Diggs, another example, he flew in to be at that ritual at the grocery store from across the country to be with his team. The entire Bills organization was at that memorial at the grocery store. And I'll tell you another thing. I think a lot of this is not only spearheaded, of course, at the top of the organization, but the face of the organization, who I was just talking about with the merch. Yeah, I was joking around a little bit, but it's 100% true. Josh Allen is the face of this organization, and you are represented by your quarterback, whether you believe it or not. And Josh Allen, he is everything right with athletes, and he is everything right with the way that you want to be represented when it comes to being in the limelight. And he was the one who spearheaded that whole team to be there. And I thought nobody said it better than Peter King, not to bring him up again, but he was talking on a radio show that I was listening to about Josh Allen and about that moment where he compared him to the Beatles as far as the crowd cheering him on at training camp. And he said the exact same thing. He talked about Josh Allen leading the entire organization in that tragedy to the grocery store. And he said that not only has Josh Allen ascended on the field, but he has also become an icon in the city of Buffalo. And that, folks, can only be done when you have the whole package. It doesn't just get done on the field. You have got to be a model citizen and an accurate representation of what you want as a leader and a face of an organization. Josh Allen is exactly that, and it goes all the way down the line in this organization.
100% well said, Z-Bot. And what an organization that we have, man. Just like, 10 years ago, man, we were just wondering, when are we ever going to get our freaking franchise quarterback?
Yeah, I know.
Lead us somewhere. And now we're sitting here. Training camp is just getting sold out. Tickets, you can't find any tickets anywhere. And the anticipation for such a great season is mounting, and it's getting higher.
Here we go. Do you know this is the first year that they did tickets for a morning practice? They used to only have the tickets for the night practice. That's how crazy this has gotten. Because that's how I think. Not only is it because they're good, Rico, but to what we're talking about here, they're so damn likable. Dude. And everybody just kind of wants to be there to witness it.
I'll tell you, man, it's good to be a Bills fan right now. Right? It's good to be a Bills fan because right now everything is just gold with freaking Bills. So let's keep that gold standard and let's freaking win this damn Lombardi. Now, speaking of how to get to the Lombardi, you got to go to training camp. And you two sexy gentlemen were at training camp today.
We were, baby.
The floor is yours. What was the atmosphere like? I'm going to start with Ziba. I'm going to start with you. Because Evan was there first day, and Evan did a fantastic job on covering the team and letting us know what was going on. So, Zach, this was your first time this year going to training camp. So what was the atmosphere like? What was the vibe like? Talk to us. Tell us about it.
Well, for starters, just being from the area here, like I was talking about earlier, yeah, it was disappointing not having the whole merch experience, but, get over it, pal. There's bigger things, right? So it was just being back at Fisher in that environment. I've always thought since I was a kid, it was super cool to have it in Rochester because it always felt like the Bills were truly not only, the Buffalo the Buffalo team, but if you live in Rochester, that bleeds all the way down to where we are. I mean, it just kind of all blends together, but you really felt that when the camp was brought up to Rochester. So walking in right off the bat, it was great. It's always been the same since I was a kid. You park over at the high school and you take a school bus over to St. John Fisher for the practice. And my dad watching right now, nobody knows more than him. That school bus was 110 degrees minimum to get over to that practice. You're packed to the brim in there, but it's a quick ride, not bad. And it's just funny because when you get on there, you realize, everybody is on that little, not little, it's a full-size bus, but everybody's on that bus because they're a diehard Bills fan. And when you really get down to it, they're on that bus to go watch the Bills practice. I mean, it's not like it's this gigantic spectacle. They're running cone drills the majority of the time, but that is what football, that's what makes it so great. You are in a bus in droves going over there to watch a practice, and it's just thousands of people. It was rowdy for sure. Definitely packed, I would say, barring the circumstances. The weather wasn't supposed to be great today, and it did wind up raining a little bit. It was hot. But it was so great to be able to get out there and watch it all on display. The bleachers were completely packed. Nice. And the cool thing is, similar to a game, you do hear the Rico's favorite, the the Bills chant, of course. You hear the shout song going. The Bills fans get it going throughout the crowd. If something happens, whether it be a hit, a great completion, whatever else, the crowd's going to let you know, which is awesome. Another cool thing is they have 2 dudes DJing the whole practice. Imagine having that gig. So they're blasting tunes the whole time. You can see the dudes dancing. I saw Diggs and Davis doing a little dance or two every now and then out in the field today. So as far as aesthetics were concerned, just great to be back out there. Are we going to get into like things that we saw right now that were kind of, stood out, or are we waiting on that?
We're going to get right into it, but I like the fact that you brought up those 2 DJs, because those 2 DJs have been keeping camp litty.
Yeah, man. Isn't that cool?
Everybody's been bopping and having a great old time. Now, before we do get into you guys getting into your camp notes, there is something I do want to talk about, because there was a name today that I never really considered until somebody dropped it when talking about fantasy. And they mentioned Isaiah McKenzie's name in drafting in fantasy. I mean, the bag is out. I mean, everybody that is not a Bills fan knows that if you can stash Isaiah McKenzie on your fantasy team, do it. If you have Dynasty, you guys should definitely try to jump on and get McKenzie right this second. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, Dynasty is another fantasy. It's another wave of fantasy. Instead of the PPR leagues, you have returning players. You get to draft your players every single year. You can make your trades with your partners. I'm telling you right now, I don't want to talk about it. Let my man Zeba talk about it.
You've never experienced fantasy football quite like this. Unlike the other fantasy football platforms, Dynasty Owner uses real NFL salaries and salary cap, bench scoring, clutch scoring systems, and a variety of other options to make Dynasty Owner unlike any other fantasy football experience you've ever had. Do you have what it takes to be the best Dynasty Owner in the league? Download the Dynasty Owner app on the App Store or Google Play today to find out.
That guy every single time. If I needed a commercial done, whoever made that commercial, I would hire him every freaking single time. The guy gets me hyped every time. I'm hyped right now. Anyway, let's move on before I get all out of control. So talk to us on camp. Evan, I'm going to start with you. We got the atmosphere. My man Zeba just laid it down. He told us exactly what we anticipated that it would be like in camp. What stood out for you today? Let's start with the defensive side of the ball. What stood out for you on defense?
So today, defensively, the defense did not have their fair share of fun as they were having in the first, 80% of camp. The receivers were dominating them today, but since we're going to stick on defense, a player in particular that I want to, touch on is Tremaine Edmunds. My gosh, Tremaine Edmunds looks like a monster that has just been shot out of a cannon. Yeah.
There was a play where he blew up James Cook. He didn't even get the snap almost. He was already there.
Talk about it. Keep going, Ed. Let's go.
Yeah, no, Tremaine Edmunds just looks like a different player this year. The mentality, just the way he carries himself on the field, the way he goes from snap to snap, the way he just blows up the plays. I think he probably had 4 to 5 TFLs, or just allowing the running back to only get 1 yard on his run. Tremaine Edmunds just looked like a different player today. And that's a point that I want to talk about. It's that defensive line. Tremaine Edmunds has never had this type of defensive line in front of him. You guys have like Tim Settle, Daquan Jones, Ed Oliver, Von Miller, Gregory Rousseau. These players, Jordan Phillips, these players are going to be huge for Tremaine Edmunds going into his 5th year. On his 5th year option, Tremaine Edmunds is going to have a monster season. And I've been seeing it in camp the past few days. He had that monster interception not even a week ago. On Tuesday, he had a very good day overall. But today, he just made, I don't want to call them splash plays, like not turnovers, but plays he wasn't making last year. And I get it, it's practice, and the offensive line is a little banged up.
Thank you.
But at the same time, you still got to give Edmunds credit, because he's there. He's finding the running back early before the running back finds the gap. Tremaine Edmunds is meeting him where he needs to meet him. And Tremaine Edmunds just looks like a completely different overall player. And I'm loving it. I love it.
I'm gonna cue you still on this defense. Cornerbacks, more specifically, Dane Jackson, Kyer Elam. Those are the 2 guys that we're going to depend on the most. This is 2 weeks of camp now. We're in week 2 of camp. Talk to me about that duo. How did they look today against one of an elite receiver in Stefon Diggs, and then you got an up and coming star in the making in Gabe Davis, and obviously we got Isaiah McKenzie. So talk to me.
Wait, sorry, my mic cut off for you. Were you talking about the safeties or the corners?
Corners.
All right, yeah. So Dane Jackson,
specifically.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna throw a guy in there to make it a trio with Christian Benford, because those three,
Bobby's gonna love that.
Yeah, they were particularly playing, on the first team reps in 11-on-11. It was Kyer Elam, Dane Jackson, and Christian Benford were all kind of rotating in and out. But in one-on-ones, Dane Jackson, his first 2 reps got completely cooked by Stefon Diggs. There's a clip on the Bills' Twitter and Instagram of Stefon Diggs completely breaking the ankles of Dane Jackson. And then there was a route before that too, where he just had him lost. And, these were just completed passes from Josh Allen to Stefon Diggs. Kyer Elam, I didn't think had a bad day, but he didn't have a strong day. He just kind of had one of those days where he's just still finding, himself as a corner in the NFL. There's a couple plays where you saw Allen strictly targeting Kyer Elam because he knew that if Stefon Diggs was on him, Stefon Diggs was going to get open right out the gate, and Allen could hit him for an easy completion. There was one, it was 11-on-11. I believe they were at their own 25 or 35. Allen just dropped back, didn't even think twice, stared down Diggs the entire time, threw Diggs open on a quick slant. Kyer Elam was covering him. And, Kyer Elam is going to have to deal with that. But at the same time, all of our corners are getting cooked by Stefon Diggs and even Gabe Davis at points in time. So I'm not too worried about the cornerbacks right now. They've been very strong throughout camp, their first 8 days. It's just today, those receivers are going to get the best of you.
Love it. Well, I'm gonna switch it over to the offensive side of the ball. Z-Bot, the keen eye of Z-Bot. Z-Bot, what stood out to you today on offense, man? I know we all know Josh Allen is Josh Allen, but anything else really stand out to you, to your eye?
Well, just overall, before we get into the specifics of the offense, I just want to say in general on this team, and I don't like to swear much on these shows. I like to keep it PG, but this team is fucking loaded. I mean, this is the first time that I obviously got to see it in person after all these additions. And there's just a palpable feeling watching these guys out there. It looks and feels elite. It's weird because it's been a few years since they've been back to Fisher. And like I said, it kind of brings me back to when I was a kid. I remember walking out there as a kid, and it was just nothing more than a fun event to go to where you could do the activities and stuff. It was never anything like, oh, can't wait to watch so-and-so or see so-and-so, because there really wasn't any of that. And now it's like, where the hell do you look? The whole field's got guys that you want to see. Crazy. You're looking out there, and it's a feeling that you can't really describe unless you are a Bills fan, probably, or you were there. But it's definitely palpable. You can notice it. And to Evan, what he was talking about, a lot of things stood out to me on defense that I liked, and a lot of things stood out on offense. And that's why when I talk about the team in general, that's why I say stacked. Here's a perfect example. The play I was talking about with Edmonds. Allen under center hands it off to James Cook. And when I say handoff, I mean, I'm being pretty generous, because by the time that ball hit his chest, Edmonds is in the backfield for a 5-yard loss. The next play, James Cook busts it on the right edge and goes for about 20 yards out of bounds, going towards the far sideline. So that just goes to show you what the capabilities are. On one play, you got Edmonds blowing things up. The next play, you got James Cook, who just got buried in the backfield, busting one off for 20 yards. There's a few things today that I noticed that I wasn't necessarily expecting, but I was through the moon stoked to see. One, Zach Moss, get used to hearing his name this year. I can't believe I'm saying this. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's just the practice today, or maybe it's something that we can genuinely look forward to seeing. But Zach Moss had a hell of a practice today. And it wasn't just him. Duke Johnson looks good today. Devin Singletary looking as consistent as he has been. And when James Cook gets off that line, that dude can move. I mean, his speed and his burst, once he gets the ball, is next level. The running backs really stood out to me today. From the wide receiver perspective, it just doesn't get better than watching Stefon Diggs. It's a clinic every time the guy moves. Gabriel Davis, let me tell you what, the 17 pounds or so you hear about him putting on this offseason, oh my God. I mean, it's not like he put it on in his calves or whatever, somewhere where you can't see it. This dude is a freak. I mean, Gabe Davis, I don't think we ever looked at him and said, oh, athlete, you know what I mean, or whatever. When you look at this offense, I'd like you to find me a player who visually looks more athletic outside of Josh Allen than Gabe Davis. This dude looks like he is in the prime of his life. And that's got to be music to your ears because we are expecting a hell of a year out of him. Visually, Gabe Davis looks like he is ready to take on the role that everybody is expecting him to fill this year. Incredible. Isaiah McKenzie, yeah, I am so stoked. Rico, you know it, man. And I keep saying this, but it's the truth. All offseason, all we said, and you were talking about it before the Dynasty owner bit. You said, think about Isaiah McKenzie for fantasy, cat's out of the bag. Well, we've been inside of that bag, man.
Absolutely.
We know what Isaiah McKenzie's capable of, man. And it's not just, like you said, it's not a secret anymore. This is being talked about at higher levels here. It is really becoming apparent that he is going to be a major piece of this offense. One specific example today that stood out, and the reason it stood out, not because it was over the moon, electric. It was a play on the 1 yard line. They're running goal line plays, right? They're running red zone simulations here. So 1 yard line, Josh Allen's in the gun, not necessarily something you'd expect on the 1 yard line. You got Josh Allen. You're thinking with a guy like him and his capabilities and in the, under center in that position to sneak it, you'd think that would more than likely be the play you go with. But obviously you're in practice, you're running different stuff. They're in the gun. Isaiah McKenzie lines up on the far left side towards the far pylon. Josh Allen motions him in. So Allen motions McKenzie towards him as he's getting ready to snap the ball. During that motion, Allen takes the snap, and McKenzie then twists out into a hook route on the far left, and Allen swings it to him. Nice swing pass, linear to Allen where he's at in the backfield. And he waltzes in for a touchdown at the near sideline. Now, why does that get me excited? You say it's a 1 yard dink and dunk touchdown.
Talk about it.
Because it's telling me the guy that I've been saying for a while is capable of bringing another element to this offense that we don't see often, and that's the Swiss Army effect, the different lineups and schemes that you can run with a guy like Isaiah McKenzie. That's what that was. You got him running a play that I think is specifically designed to be run for Isaiah McKenzie. So, yeah, it was a 1 yard touchdown, and it wasn't anything, mind-blowing. But what that tells me is Dorsey is doing or planning to do what I was hoping all along this season, and that is get Isaiah McKenzie not only involved, but involved in creative ways that perhaps we haven't seen before. And there were other things today that I saw that stood out as far as creativity is concerned, too. There was a play where Josh Allen lined up in the gun 5 wide, and Devin Singletary lined up as a wide receiver on the far left side of the field. Now, Allen wound up running the ball in that situation, but it stood out to me because I was thinking, well, I don't know if we've seen all that much of that, where Devin Singletary lines up wide like that. What could potentially come from that? There were so many different elements today that really did stand out, but perhaps the one that really sent the crowd over the moon, the one that really juiced the place up, including myself, It was the play of the day. Josh Allen lined up at around the 35-yard line or so. They're running basically a full-on scrimmage at this point. I mean, they're not killing each other, but they're not holding back that much either. So this is about as real as it gets as far as a practice is concerned. Josh Allen takes the snap under a bit of pressure, so he rolls to the left, obviously opposite dominant hand. So he's already in a tough spot, but it's Josh Allen. At this point, he's at around the 45-yard line. He's on his back foot, and he flicks it just like this. And I mean, the way, the ability to make it look that easy, I tweeted it out, and I thought it was 30 yards or so. It was 45 yards. The dude essentially threw it half the field off his back foot like this. So he's rolling to the left, back foot fading away, flick of the wrist, on a dime, on the numbers in the back of the end zone. And who catches it but rookie Khalil Shakir? And what is that telling me once again? I know I'm saying that. What is that telling me? What does that tell me? Well, I was told a lot of things today and a lot of things that are kind of doubling down on my excitement. But we keep talking about this wide receiver room. Who's going to get in? McKenzie more involved. Jamison Crowder, right? Is Tavon Austin even going to make the roster? Then you see a guy like Khalil Shakir nabbing the deepest touchdown of the day in the most exciting play of the day.
Love it.
So many things there to take in, but not only is it, Khalil Shakir getting a touchdown as a rookie in front of everybody in a half field type scrimmage, but it's just Josh Allen once again displaying his abilities. We're talking about last week, Tua Tagovailoa going quote unquote viral, so to speak, for a 60-yard touchdown to Tyreek Hill where everybody lost their mind, right? Josh Allen flicks his wrist for a 45-yard bomb touchdown to a rookie wide receiver. And yeah, we're excited, but nobody's going to be talking about it the rest of the week because it is expected. And once again, it's delivered. So many things today, Rico. And like I told you off air, man, I left today just needing football more than ever.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zeba just listen. You were very descriptive, and I love your excitement. And if you guys don't get excited like my man Zeba, he's so damn excited, he's parched. He's about to take a swig of whatever the hell that's in that cup.
I hope you can tell. I need it. I need it like I need this water.
Absolutely. So I do have a super chat that came up, and it's probably going to put you guys in a position where you don't necessarily want to be, but I mean. We talk about all these great things that are happening with his team, right? So my man Space Oddity came out with a super chat. I appreciate that. Super chat, we appreciate it. We like to talk about the good mostly, but what players are disappointing or not meeting the expectations? All what's up with Boogie, never hear about him. Also, what's up with Boogie, never hear about him. So probably tough for you guys to really evaluate and explain who's up and who's down because we're not there at camp every single day. So Evan, based on the 2 days you were at camp, and maybe for you, Zebot, today, did somebody maybe not underperform, but just nothing really stood out about this player, or flat out disappointing? And Evan, I'm going to start with you, man. What do you who and what is standing out to you?
Yeah, so one player that I'm like kind of disappointed with that I haven't seen too much of is OJ Howard. OJ Howard is getting first team reps in 12 personnel looks. I'll say that. He is getting onto the field and he is running routes. He is, blocking once in a while on the line, but I just haven't seen him make any like big plays yet, or just any type of small catches and going upfield and using his athleticism that we preached when we signed this guy in the offseason. Now, I get it. He's still new to the Bills offense. It's going to take a little bit of time for him to work himself in. I get that. We're not even 10 full days into camp yet.
Right.
There's still preseason and there's still time in the regular season to develop this chemistry between him and Josh Allen. But even when haven't been at camp, but I've been, reading the camp notes, it's just been, where's OJ Howard? Where's OJ Howard? Where is he? And I see like one day, it might have been day 8, day 7. He had an okay day. He was more noticeable than other days. But at that time, it's like, I want to see OJ Howard stretch the field vertically. Like I'd want to see, Zeba, Josh Allen had that beautiful throw to Gabe Davis early in the day, right down the middle of the field on a stretch vertical route. That's what I would like to see out of OJ Howard. Now, obviously that's a lot to ask in training camp, but I would just like to see OJ Howard going downfield and looking at the downfield threat. It's just, I've just seen him out on the field, not really doing too much as of yet. So that's a player that I've been disappointed with thus far through our training camp.
Fair. I mean, it's going to be tough for you, Zach, but today, were you paying attention to someone specifically and you're like, what's all the hype? Or, that's going to be a problem.
To me,
offense, defense, side of the ball, special teams. What stood out to you?
Body language is a big thing for me. The one I'll start on a positive note. The best body language I saw on the field all day, Ken Dorsey. You know what we were told, Rico, at media day there about him being an absolute ball of fire?
Absolutely.
I saw it visually. And shout out my dad because he really pointed out. I don't know if I would have noticed it if he didn't say something. He was running. You know how like back in the day when you were playing sports, your coach is like, you better run to the next drill or whatever. He was doing that, right? He's running to the next drill. He's on the sidelines, right, which is not necessarily in his wheelhouse, so we were told. He's more of a booth guy, or we thought he might be a booth guy, right? He's on the sideline as well, simulating, what that's going to be like in a game situation. But he really stood out to me today because, I was listening to Pro Football Talk the other day, and Chris Sims, who's high on the Bills, and Josh Allen, of course, but he was saying how one of his biggest, things, one of the biggest things this coming season that he's looking forward to seeing the most. And this is, Chris Sims, who covers the whole league. I thought this was very interesting. One of the biggest things he's looking for is how different the Bills' offense is with Ken Dorsey. And I know we've been talking about that a lot. And I've already seen some positives that I like, but we will see what that is like overall. Just notice his body language, though, and his energy. Loved it. There were two guys, however, today that I did not love that aspect of their, of their day, the way that they represented themselves visually, I would say. And, granted, who knows what this means? And like you said, it's tough to dissect whether someone had a bad day or not. But there was a moment today where the entire, the big boys all got in a huddle, so to speak. They gathered all around, and Bobby Hart got on a knee, and he looked visibly pissed. And he stayed on that knee for about a full minute after everybody left the huddle and walked in the other direction. He just stayed on that knee. I saw one guy come up. I didn't know exactly who it was, and kind of pat him on the back and check in on him. And Bobby Hart stayed on that knee, kind of staring off. And I don't know exactly what that was, but that kind of told me, I was talking with my dad. My dad's like, man, maybe he's just having a bad day. And I'm like, well, perhaps that's accurate. Now I say that because he's a guy that a lot of people are constantly talking about all the time, right? That was one thing that I thought stood out. Another thing, and we love him. We had a great interview with Matt Barkley. Love what he's bringing to the table, just as far as personality is concerned and being there for Josh Allen. All I can say is I truly, truly pray to God it never comes down to having to get Matt Barkley in the game.
Unless it's against the Dolphins.
Yeah, no disrespect whatsoever, obviously. It's just he's been in the league some time now. You forget that. He's been in the league a long time. He looked, in his limited reps he had today, it just looked visibly older and slower.
Yep.
In Case Keenum and obviously Josh Allen. So that would be the one thing I'd say that kind of stood out.
And let's keep it real. I mean, if they felt the comfort in Matt Barkley, I think they would have just went with him as the backup quarterback.
I think you're right.
And they needed to get someone that had a playoff experience and that has played in this game and that can still play at a high level. And let's be real. I mean, Matt Barkley seems to be a fan favorite on the squad, but ain't nobody asking for Matt Barkley to jump in the game if need be. I mean,
well, you want to know what, to your point there
for other reasons is what I wanted to say.
Yes, exactly. And I wanted to double down on that because what I like about him is he's fully aware of it. I mean, when we were talking to him, I mean, it was just, that's what I loved about talking to him is because he knew, man, I'm here to kick it with Allen and kind of be his boy for the year. And hell, man, maybe I can get a damn ring out of this thing too. Absolutely. While we're at it. That's what I love about it.
Because you don't realize, but morale is everything. Right?
It is.
You keep morale up, especially in that quarterback room. You got Case Keenum and you got the lighthearted, keep everybody going and keep everybody light. And that's Josh Allen's boy. Hey, keep your quarterback happy. Keep your most prized possession happy. Bring in his boy in Mr. Bitcoin Barkley. I got a super chat coming from a man, John DeMarchi. What up, Johnny? Johnny comes in and says, hey, hype is great, but the job number one is to keep Josh Allen healthy. Saffold, Brown, Bates still out, and that's the first team. No offensive linemen, no playoffs. See, Jacksonville last year, 35 days until Donald and the LA Rams come to Buffalo. Better get our guys back. You damn right, Johnny, because that's the two things that we talked about. I mean, I had a concern with the cornerback room. That's just me. People are wondering, why do you have a concern with the cornerback room? Well, I don't want it to be a concern, but I am starting to get a little concerned with our rookie. Yes, he's a rookie. And I get that point, but I still have my trepidations about that. But the O-line is kind of scary because we haven't been able to get these guys in line to get them ready for the season. And we took an L in week 1 because the same thing happened last year. We kept on having guys in and out of the lineup. And we have a guy like TJ Watt barreling down on you and is creating pressure. Continuity plays a part. I mean, but talent also does play a part. And right now we don't have the talent on the O-line right now to really push against this freaking defense. But that's going to be one of the things that we talk about later in the show. But at the end of the day, it's not good, man. Bobby Hart's staying on one knee. He probably just got cooked. And he's like, damn, I'm trying to make a name for myself, and I'm getting beat down. But that's going to happen when you have a whole lineup of freaking star players on that damn defense. So shout out to, the defense getting after it. But, there are some times where this O-line does kind of scare me a little bit. So I'm hoping that they come together very soon and really start getting these reps. Because right now, the only guy holding it down is our center, Mitch Morse. And obviously, we had Deion Dawkins back. We're starting to get going, but we need everybody back. You guys already know the drill because Aaron Donald will have no mercy. He will have no mercy. And he's going to try to show up Von Miller, right? Von Miller's going to try to show up he's going to try to show up Aaron Donald. But Aaron Donald, former Super Bowl champ, the dude's a freaking monster. He's a freaking Hall of Famer, soon to be. So we are going to have our hands full. So this O-line better get their act together. And that's the one thing that I did want to touch on. Another question coming in. I just saw it and I just missed it. So if I can try to scroll back and get it, I will. But another thing that I wanted to touch on was, what did you see? What did you guys both see from James Cook? I'm curious. A lot of burst. Should I be letting go of this whole Breece Hall situation and embrace, saying James Cook? Is he looking as advertised and as a lot of people like it? Ziba, you mentioned him today. I'll start with you. Did you pay attention to the running back room and seeing how these guys are doing?
To be honest with you, the running back room is where I thought I might have been most impressed today, as far as what I saw out of a unit that I wasn't necessarily expecting to see anything I was going to walk out of there being overly, excited about. I definitely thought Zach Moss had a great day. Devin Singletary, I think from my own personal perspective, as far as what I was able to see, I didn't see as much out of him today, but I think that was because they were doing a real healthy rotation. I mean, a lot of these guys got first team reps often. It wasn't like it was only McKenzie. Now, I would say James Cook probably got the least amount of first team reps today. But when I did see James Cook hit the line, when he got a stride or two off the handoff, Rico, I mean, he really has got a burst to him.
I love it.
Might be because, it's the new young gun out there compared to the rest of the guys. But then again, it's not like that unit is overly old. Everybody's fairly young for the most part when it comes to that position. But I think when you watch them hit the hole, you can see why James Cook was the early second round pick, just based on the explosiveness. But, and this isn't an indictment on anybody. This is just the fact that when I watched all of these guys take a snap or two each, there were, each of them had one or two that really stood out to me today, as far as being like, damn, like Zach Moss, man, you just absolutely nailed that hole for a chunk play.
Yep.
And I saw Duke Johnson do the same thing. So I'm very optimistic leaving today. Now, of course, it's one practice, right? Who the hell knows? But like I just got through saying, I wasn't expecting to leave there with an overall optimism on the running unit, and I am today. I
love it. Ziba, I mean, I'm going to go to Ev. Somebody asked about Matt Araiza. Can we talk about special teams? Who was? They
don't let him kick. It's so weird. They have like a machine.
So I'll kind of touch on the special teams and how they kind of conduct it at camp. They don't really let them, like Zach mentioned, they don't really let them, punt and stuff. They go through the motions. They get the ball snapped to them and whatever, but it's like the jug machine that just it shoots the ball up for the returners. Now, I do know that the special teams and the kicker, long snapper Reed Ferguson, and then the punters, they're on the backfield for most of the practice. They kind of do their thing over there. Now, I'm going to say this as a fan. If I'm at training camp, I'm not going to be watching the special teams. I'm going to be strictly watching, the offense. And I have some respect, but I'm going to be watching the offense and defense. So I didn't get a clear-cut look at the special teams unit today because no fan really could, because they just don't showcase the special teams unit overall. But you mentioned, like, one thing you mentioned with James Cook. I had an interesting point about James Cook and some other running backs on the Buffalo Bills roster. There was one point in time today where I was watching the receivers work on some routes. They would go under this little bar and cut in. They would do like a 5-yard up and in, but cutting under the bar. When I'm looking at the receivers, you see Diggs, McKenzie, Davis, Shakir, Crowder, 28. Why is 28 there? That's James Cook. They had James Cook, Duke Johnson, and Raheem Blackshear all just running routes with the receivers, while the running backs, that is Devin Singletary and Zach Moss, were working on the other side of the field on individual running back drills. So they obviously have a bunch of implications set up in this offense to not only use James Cook and potentially Duke Johnson and others as pass catchers, but with route trees, probably super good route trees as well. Throwing James Cook in the slot, that's going to be a lot of what we'll see in the new Ken Dorsey offense this year. I mean, Zach mentioned it all the time. Like, who was it? someone at Pro Football Talk was talking about it, what they were going to look at with Ken Dorsey as the new offensive coordinator. And then you just see that Ken Dorsey is all over the place. He just wants to implement things into this offense. And, having 3 running backs, running routes with the receivers is something that just eye-popping to me. I thought it was interesting.
I like that. It's indicative of like how overall our team is. I mean, just today I was watching, I'm sure you guys saw it on YouTube, where they had NFL, what do you call that? NFL films. And they had like 24 minutes of like the Bills season, right? From week 1, the ups and the downs in the middle of the season, and then the freaking Chiefs game. But dude, when I was watching that, I came away with like, this team is not far. This team is not far, man. And maybe the Von Miller edition is what we need. Maybe the nastiness of Roger Saffold on the line is what we need to kind of, attack these defensive fronts heavier and with a heavier hand. Bringing a young fresh corner, in Kyer Elam coming in, and we've got tremendous depth. Dude, we are freaking not far, man. We just got to stay healthy and keep at it, man. And dude, it's exciting. Like Z-Bot said, man, it's like you go there and you already just feel it. The atmosphere is there. Like you look and there's not really a lot of holes, and you can really see a bunch of stars on this damn team. So if we can put it all together, man, golly, it will be exciting. I'll tell you that right now. So I got something I want to play with y'all. We're going to kind of keep it light. And it's called 2 words. I haven't done 2 words in a long time. I usually leave it for my guests. But you know what? You guys are my guests today. And I'm going to name a player, a play, an instant from past season, and potentially anything in between. And I want the 2 words that come to you, or 2 thoughts, we'll say, that come to you first. And I'm going to randomize it between the 2 of you guys. So you guys give me a second. Let me get my stuff queued up, and we'll go from there. Here we go. Are you guys ready?
Ready, baby.
Here we go. So Z-Bot, I'm going to start with you, man. 2 words, 2 thoughts describing when you looked at that defensive front and the size of the guys that are on that defense front. What are the 2 thoughts that come to your mind?
Gargantuan and tower are the two words that come to my mind. Me and my dad probably talked about this today for, I swear to God, 20 minutes. Like every other minute, we would just have a comment about, dude, like, do you see the size of so-and-so? Do you see? First of all, the one that we were really talking about the most, and it's kind of like, it's deflected on the question just a bit, but it's essentially the same exact concept. It's on the offensive line. Spencer Brown, it quite literally might be the biggest human being I've ever seen in my life from a short distance. I mean, the guy is just an and it's not just like it's not like an offensive lineman typically where you got the gut, and you're just a big boy waddling around. I mean, the guy is literally. I don't even know. I really don't know. I tweeted out today. I just said he was a tower, and I wanted to put cement tower in front of me because not only is he massive, but he's also a brick. The dude is huge. So that's on the offensive side of things, right? Also, another guy on offense that I just didn't know was this big visually, I guess, or maybe I overlooked it. Tommy Doyle. Holy crap.
Big boy. Another big boy.
I mean, 6'8", 320 for Tommy Doyle. Sweet guy. Huge. Now on defense, you want to know who really stood out as far as just massive size is concerned for me today? Greg Rousseau. I'm looking at Greg Rousseau from the sidelines I was, standing down on the sideline, and I could, I guess more or less 30 yards, the distance between me and Greg Rousseau.
Right.
And, you're looking at him, and similar to Spencer Brown, where it's just like, not only is it's just a lean machine as far as athleticism is concerned, but the overall presence. And the crazy thing is here, when we're talking about this presence, this is amongst other gigantic
big humans,
professional athletes. Yes. And when you stand out in that environment, that to me truly is the indicator of how freakishly, big or, whatever synonym you want to put in there. And we all know Greg Rousseau was drafted for that reason. I mean, he was drafted under the pretense of, Brandon Beane being the guy who goes into the draft trying to get the freak. I mean, it's insane. Brandon Beane is essentially the best way you could compare it. Brandon Beane is like Professor X, where he is just bringing in all these mutants who have insane potential.
I like that.
Right? Like that. Yeah. And Greg Rousseau, to me, you look at him today, he's one of them. And then we talked about him a lot earlier. Tremaine Edmunds. I mean, the dude, when you really get down to brass tacks, he's massive. Now, he's not on the line, but he was in and around that line a lot today. I think what Evan and I saw, and I like this too, because Evan and I spent the majority of the camp not with each other. We had these mutual visions, apart. So it's not like I just saw it and he just, we agreed with me or vice versa. We both saw these things, right? And to me, it's showing on the field now. The presence that Tremaine Edmunds has, you're actually seeing it be put to use. Not that it wasn't, but perhaps being put to use in a way that, is a level higher and a level that we expected it to be. And I think that if we can get that from him this year, along with the additions on this defensive line, just another reason, man, that I, getting a little sweat going, water. I mean, come on.
I love it. The fact that you called Brandon Beane, I'll listen. I'm already thinking of it right now. Freaking
that came to I am literally so happy that I just thought it. I don't know why I didn't think of that before.
Listen, you got listen, McDermott is Professor X. All right. And then we can move around some players as the freaking X-Men, right?
Yeah, Josh Allen's Wolverine. I mean, we could go off here, man.
Watch out, man. Watch out. All right. So let me go over to Evan. You got something. You got something there. You got something right there. So speaking of Groot, Evan. 2 words, two thoughts come to your mind when you think, I mean, rumor has it there was a bit of a little scuffle, a little tuffle with Groot, and of all people, Stefon Diggs and Groot going at it. So your 2 thoughts when you came across this tidbit of news. Ev, talk to us.
Quiet gone wrong. We all know Greg Rousseau is a very quiet, like mild-mannered, human being. He just doesn't he's just not a loud person in general. Obviously he'll make his game-wrecking plays on the field. That's what he'll do. But in the media, he keeps it very chill, very, calm, cool, and collected. But today, and I believe it was the first play in 11 on 11s, Josh Allen threw an underneath ball to Stefon Diggs in Gregory Rousseau was back, dropped off in coverage, and he was the first person to wrap up Stefon Diggs to end the rep. But after that, Rousseau tried, to knock the ball out of Stefon Diggs' hands, and Diggs didn't take too lightly of that because it was a little bit after the whistle. So, Diggs being about 6 foot, 6'1", 6'1" is a little bit generous, going up against a guy in, Gregory Rousseau, who's 6'7", 6'8". Yeah. And just kind of hits him in the face mask. And then I'm pretty sure Rousseau kind of went back at him a little bit. And then, that just scuffered a little more. And even Ed Oliver threw a couple punches in Diggs' direction as well. But, just seeing that, I'm just, Greg Rousseau just doesn't really give you that type of vibe as a player that's going to be the most overly aggressive player in camp. And I'm trying to remember the line, but Von Miller was asked in his press conference today, he's like, I want to unleash, Groot. I want to unleash Gregory Rousseau. And I'm trying to remember the 2 words that.
I'll tell you what it is. He wants to freaking these gasoline and freaking and gunpowder. He wants to.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And I'm telling you right now, and this is perfect segue because it allows me to jump in with the Von Miller effect. So last year, you would have never seen Greg Rousseau trying to tussle up and get it in, mix it in with, I'm saying, the guys in the likes of Stefon Diggs specifically. So the Von Miller effect is a real damn thing. And that's why they brought this man to Buffalo. Not to, obviously to be the closer, but to teach these young bucks what it is about being a champion, to teach these young bucks what it is about being elite. So if you gotta, get an edge about you, That's what he said. He says, yo, I'm like, this guy could be a demon, man. So I'm going to bring it out of him is what he said. And he's like, yo, mix a little bit of gunpowder, a little bit of gasoline, man. And this guy is going to be unstoppable. And if Greg Rousseau can get the edge in any way, a little bit of Von Miller, boy, our quarterback's going to be sorry. They're going to be sorry, especially Tua. Listen, I feel bad for Tua, man. We coming for that ass, Tua. We coming for that ass, and you ain't gonna like it. You ain't gonna like it. But first things first, we gotta get on to the Rams. So last segment of the show, fellas. I wanted to talk about two things that have stood out to you in camp thus far. We've started camp, so two things that have stood out. It could be something minor, it could be something major, it could be just things we already know. But I'm gonna start with you, man. Two things that just are standing out to you.
Yeah. Well, first things first, shout out Richard Forbes. We are going to bang on the Miami Dolphins like Carter Beauford bangs on those drums. So quick shout out to my man Richard for recognizing greatness. Carter Beauford, the GOAT. All right, now two things that I noticed, and there's a lot, so it's tough to pick from. But, and you know, maybe this is, I don't necessarily think it was ever really a concern, but I feel like the one thing that people like to criticize Josh Allen on the most, and I don't think this has been a concern recently at all, but you know how it is nowadays. Everybody's trying to pinpoint a problem with Josh Allen, right? And I'm just gonna ask you, Rico, right now, if you were to guess, you know, for someone to give a legitimate quote unquote, like they're trying to sound like they're watching him, criticism on Josh Allen, what do you think the one area of his game would be that, you know, somebody would say?
That they would criticize on Josh Allen?
Yeah. A part of his game.
Though, I mean, I don't know if they still do it now, but he's inaccurate.
Bingo.
Right?
You got it. Exactly. So the reason you said that, right, is because that is it's the argument you have if you haven't bothered to watch Josh Allen's progression over the last 2 years, right? Absolutely. You heard about it on the radio or TV a couple years ago, and you've just kind of ran with it ever since, right? That's basically what that is, right? He's gotten a hell of a lot better, obviously, to the point where it's not an issue. But I will say today, the one thing I noticed, I don't know if I saw maybe more than one ball out of Josh Allen's hands that wasn't right on the money. I mean, every single ball that I saw leave that cannon was on the numbers or the hands of the target. Everything was completely on the money. And I just think that is I think what we see from Josh Allen moving forward is essentially what we've saw out of him his entire career. He refines his game a little bit at a time every year. Obviously, it was more dramatic in the beginning because there was more to refine. But he has not taken the offseason off. We know he's out with Palmer getting better and better. He's never taken a day off, right? I think that we can continue to see precision in regard to his refinement within his game. I think the accuracy could be one thing that we could see this year be really, really pinpoint to the point where no one could even bother to have that be an argument ever again. That to me is one thing that I could see, you know, because when you look at Josh Allen's game, a lot of people are like, well, yeah, I mean, everybody can improve, but what are you really looking for here? Maybe that's one area that you could see really being so dialed in that he's considered to be one of the more accurate guys out there. We'll see. Today, though, you know, I'm not saying that, of course. You know, you could argue it whatever you want. I'll just say today what I saw was an incredibly, incredibly accurate day out of Josh Allen. And I'm going to combine the next two because these are the two things that I think stood out to me the most. And, you know, not one to me is one that I expected, but I didn't necessarily know if it would happen. And then two is one that I mentioned earlier that I just wasn't expecting, but was pleasantly surprised. The running back game today, I was very impressed with. Maybe it's my low expectations. I don't know if I necessarily had over the moon expectations from the running game, but why would I? We haven't had any reason to. Of course. But the thing that, you know, was crazy to me is it wasn't just James Cook. If anything, he was just a part of it. These guys really did look quick. You know, a sense of urgency right off the line when they got the ball. They were hitting the holes well. And I just was really taken back by what I saw out of the running backs today. I was impressed. And then the other thing here is I keep hearing, the Bills could need to add another weapon if they want to get over the top as far as offense is concerned. And of course, you can never have too many weapons. You see Andre Reed posting the picture with Odell Beckham Jr., people wanting it. And I said on my show the other night, I wouldn't say no. I mean, at this point, you see all these teams adding veterans. Why the hell not? But I look at this team right now. I don't really know how you could complain. I mean, we were talking earlier. There's a guy on this team right now that you would have made the roster last year probably for the wide receiver core that is probably not going to make the team, or at the very bare minimum 2 years ago, would have made the team with ease. Not going to happen this year. I legitimately think, based on what I saw and the reps being taken by the first team, Isaiah McKenzie is going to be right there for the majority of these snaps, and Gabe Davis. Just to double down on what I said earlier, because I truly was blown away by it. We heard about him putting on weight in the offseason. He looks incredible. And it just fuels an already existing fire in me going into the season that guy right there could legitimately be just an overwhelming dominant piece to this offense that nobody saw coming when he was drafted. We saw shades of it last year, but this is the year where he's really going to be put in a spot to be able to do that. And I'll tell you what, visually, Rico, he's got the look down when it comes to getting it done. And based on what I saw in practice, he looked great. It just got me more excited to see what he brings to the table as wide receiver 2 this season.
I love it, man. Yo, Z-Bot is freaking jacked, boy.
I'm so damn pumped, man. Was it 5 weeks from today? That's nothing. I mean, we're really getting down to the wire here, man.
Yes, we are.
Summer's going through quickly.
What's that, buddy?
Summer's going through quickly.
It is.
Bill season's right around the corner.
You're freaking right, man. The season is around the corner. So let me start with you, Ev, man. 2 things that have stood out to you through camp, whether it be major, anything in between.
So for my 2 topics, I have 2 separate positional battles. The first one I'm going to start at is the cornerback battle between Christian Benford, Dane Jackson, and Kyer Elam. I think it is very interesting that the Buffalo Bills, for their cornerback 1 and cornerback 2 position, are leaning on a third-year corner that was a 7th-round pick out of Pitt, our first-year corner that was drafted in the 1st round, and a first-year corner, again, that was drafted in the 6th round out of Villanova. I think that is very intriguing that the Buffalo Bills did not bring in a veteran corner to compete for that spot. And I get it, Tre'Davious White isn't going to be out for the entire season. He'll be likely back at latest, probably week 6 or 7. But you got to just imagine how good these corners can be if Sean McDermott and Leslie Frazier have that much trust and believe that they have that much capability to, lock down the back end for at least, a quarter, if not more, of the season. And Christian Benford has been getting more reps at cornerback, or at cornerback 1/2 on the first team. So he is a player that is intriguing me a lot. Same with Dane Jackson, even though, he didn't have his best day today. He had a couple plays that were good. But, then Kyer Elam as well. He's been up and down throughout camp. But, one more player I'm going to throw in there is Taron Johnson. Taron Johnson, man, is just probably the most steady, consistent player throughout camp. And I get it. He's had a few moments where he got toasted by Isaiah McKenzie. But there's been, points where Taron Johnson just literally looked like that elite slot corner that, he's been in years past. And he's just been progressing to be. Taron Johnson had a really nice play on Jamison Crowder today where, where it's one-on-one routes in the middle of the field, the receivers have the advantage. I mean, it doesn't really favor the defensive back. Taron Johnson just step for step with Jamison Crowder just owning him. So he's going to be a great player this season for us as well. But I want to kind of take a dive in my second point to the receiving room. Isaiah Hodgins versus Jake Kumaro. That is a battle that is heating up. And that's a battle. Yes, Isaiah Hodgins and Jake Kumaro. Jake Kumaro was back participating in team drills for the first time, throughout camp. And Isaiah Hodgins has still been looking steadily consistent as he has been, through the last 4 to 5 days of camp as well. I think these guys are going to be battling it out for the 6th or 7th spot on this roster for our receivers. It's going to be really interesting to see what they do because obviously you have a guy in Jake Kumaro who's been on this roster for a little bit. He is a veteran. He's very consistently solid on special teams. But then you have a guy in Isaiah Hodgins who the Bills spent draft capital in and haven't been, able to get him on the field because he's been injured. So, it's going to be really interesting because I think Isaiah Hodgins is too talented to not take a shot on. I think Isaiah Hodgins at least has to make the roster as your 7th receiver, and then you can still have a guy like Jake Kumaro on it as your 6th. Yep. I think Isaiah Hodgins is simply too talented to just give up on and just throw him to the side. I think he's simply too talented. You mentioned, Zach, how Matt Barkley just didn't look like, just a quality backup anymore. You saw the third string capabilities that he had, but he had a nice throw off his back foot and really just kind of threw it up for Isaiah Hodgins. And Isaiah Hodgins, again, using those soft hands to make a nice possession catch, with the defender draping all over his back. I mean, I'm just saying Isaiah Hodgins is looking good in camp. And I've been preaching it over the last few shows I've been on. And I mean, Zach, you can even test to it too. Isaiah Hodgins looked good today. I mean, so did Jake Kumaro. They both
high receiver. Yeah, it's just it really pops. It didn't really matter who it was. Anytime somebody got targeted, it just seemed like it worked.
Well, listen, I like the 2 points that you guys have made, and I guess I'll jump into mine. It's the obvious one, right? The addition of Von Miller, but not because of what Von Miller does on the squad, right? It's for what Von Miller will instill in his defensive front. And all we've been hearing about in camp is how dominant this defensive line has been. Granted, the whole line is not 100%, but I don't know if that's going to make too much of a difference. I think Brandon Beane has been trying to build something on this defensive line for two years now. And I think he's officially got the rotation and the lineman that he wants, the talent that he wants. And the last time we paid a defensive lineman over $100 million, well, that was Mr. Williams himself, right? Former Texans lineman, and he was just an absolute monster. Mario Williams was disgusting. So guess what? We bring in Von Miller, right? A little older, granted, but what he's going to do for us on the field and what he's doing for the defensive front, Ed Oliver is playing out of his mind right now. And that duo has been like this apparently in camp. They're like the best buddies. You're not hearing too much of Boogie Basham, but he's going to be doing some big things. Greg Rousseau, you can hear the potential they have in Greg Rousseau. And don't get me started on the Quan and Tim Settle. Buddy, this defensive front I'm excited about. That's number one. Number two, what's standing out to me is the offense is still, because this defense is so damn sharp, the offense is still making plays in camp. What that's telling me is, boy, is Josh Allen going to have a year. He is going to have a year when your defense is just killing that offensive line and you don't even have your guys and you're still making plays to Stefon Diggs. You're still making plays to Gabe Davis. Wait till you have your 5 guys that are there and you have the time. Boy, is it going to be nasty for the opponents. And I think Josh Allen said it. He's like, hey, better it happened now, and I feel bad for the other teams. And I'm paraphrasing here. But you'll feel bad for the other teams because once these guys get it rocked and rolling, it is going to be a problem. So another last point I want to make is I'm glad I'm hearing that Zach Moss is doing it because I have a feeling that they still have love for Zach Moss. And I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. This is a crucial year for the running back room. We may not want to talk about it right now because everything is all flowers and candies and everything is great. But Devin Singletary is going into year 4. Excuse me, he's in year 4, right? You've got a drafted rookie in Cook, and you've got a back that's going into year 3 in Zach Moss. So what is the backfield going to look like next year? So this is an audition this year to see who stays on the squad. So this is a great problem for the Bills, but we're going to see how this plays out. So something to very much pay attention to in preseason. So it's going to be fun, folks. It is going to be fun. This team is destined for greatness. It is early. We are talking about, preseason's coming up shortly. But listen, it's going to be great. The only thing I want to make sure is everybody freaking comes out healthy because Micah Hyde just got bruised up not too long ago, and Poyer has got a bum.
Hyde was actually practicing today for a little bit.
Great. That's what I've been hearing. But Poyer is on the other one. He's going to be 2-3 weeks out, maybe 3 weeks out. And Stevenson's got a bad foot injury, and it's not looking good for Stevenson. So I just need everybody to stay freaking healthy. Stay healthy because we 100% need everybody in this bitch if we want to make a run. That's it. That's all, because you got these Dolphins fans waiting for a nick to happen. Well,
man,
bitch,
they are bored, man.
You guys want? I'm gonna tell you right now, man. This Dolphins game is gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun because they've got some talent on this squad. They got some talent.
Rico, all of a sudden, that's become one of my most anticipated games of the year.
Absolutely.
The first meeting with Miami, all of a sudden, and it wasn't just a couple weeks ago. I can't wait.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting for me because, you know, me growing up, like, division games are my favorite, but I never felt that intensity from the Dolphins fans, just because we were too kind of like chill and relax with Dolphins fans, just because there was really no beef to be had there. You know, obviously you have it with the Jets because, you know, they're that New York football team that isn't in New York. And then you got New England just because Tom Brady, etc. We don't need to explain that. Now you got these Dolphins fans. Like, I get it. You know, the Dolphins, they bring in a guy like Tyreek Hill. You got a nice receiver in Jalen Waddle who broke the rookie reception record. You have Mike Gesicki. You bring in two backs in Mostert and Edmonds. You know, you got this new sparky, cocky, nerdy head coach. I get it. You got all these nice little toys. But again, who's your quarterback? It's basically me throwing it back there just because,
Easy now.
Okay. But I get it. Tua, he's an accurate quarterback. Tua's a smart decision maker. But you got guys like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. They need the ball in their hands, and they are downfield threats. And they are underneath threats as well that have outstanding yak ability. It's just, can Tua put it all together? If Tua can put it all together, you know what? Those Dolphins fans talking their talk, they rightfully so, they have it all. But until we see Tua being able to complete downfield shots consistently, you know, like Josh Allen, like Patrick Mahomes, like Justin Herbert, like Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, a bunch of the elite quarterbacks in the AFC, there's no simply put room that the Miami Dolphins are going to compete.
Well, listen,
I mean, that's it.
That's why we play to win the games, and that's why we have these seasons, man. We're gonna find out what's gonna be good. I got to get into this real quick with you guys before we get out of here. Fantasy. Are you a big fantasy guy?
Love it. Got a few drafts this week, as a matter of fact.
Damn, that's early.
I know. Yeah. Well, you know, you're kind of right. You're kind of right.
Early, dog. Yo, you better push those dates back.
Well, the ones I care about the most are Labor Day weekend.
There you go, big fella.
Yeah, exactly.
Evan, are you big on fantasy?
I am. I'm thinking about joining us. So, interesting story. I got hit up by someone I know, and it's a 12-team Dynasty league. They're like, "Hey, man, you want to join?" I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to join a Dynasty league like that when the roster is already implemented. But the one team does have the third pick for a rookie draft. So, you know, that does intrigue me a little bit. Rev wants to join in. I see that chat there. One of us will have to throw him the link. But yeah, no, I am a big fantasy guy. I do have fun with it.
Yep.
I don't have any drafts early like my man Z-Bot here, just because I cannot play the injury game. Guys like J.K. Dobbins got injured last year. Travis Etienne. Those were two players that were drafted pretty highly, and that can ruin a lot of teams. A lot of teams in a lot of leagues. So I kind of have my drafts either at the last preseason game or literally a week before the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll probably be in a few money leagues this year.
Perfect. So you guys are both fantasy players, and this is what I need to ask you guys. What's the over-under on the amount of Bills players that a competitive fantasy player should have on their squad? Take the homerism out of it, but you still want to be a fan and you know who's going to perform and all that stuff. But 3 players, is that too much to have on your fantasy team if you're trying to actually compete and win?
I got there's two sides to the coin to me. No, because I think if you had Josh Allen, he's the best fantasy quarterback. Diggs is definitely one of the best wide receivers to have for any, fantasy league. And then I wouldn't mind having Davis at all either. But with that said, the problem with having that many players from one team is you kind of eat yourself alive a little bit. Anytime Diggs catches the ball, Davis isn't catching it. Whereas if you have somebody else starting in another game, there's more opportunity there. So that is the struggle. I would say the max I would have, and ultimately it depends on who you get. And I think also that it depends on if it includes Josh Allen, but I would think 2 would be the smartest decision. And I think also it would be, you'd be in a good spot too, depending on, the 2 guys you had.
Okay, because that's my battle every year.
Yeah, I know. You were telling me it's tough for you.
It's a sickness I have. It's a sickness because I'm
hold on. Does the defense count? Does the defense count as a player?
I try my best to try to grab. Look at this mother effer right here. He needed to get in there while he's barbecuing.
Look at this guy, man.
Trampoline.
Yeah, I need to, man, for real.
So, what are you cooking up over there?
Hey,
we need to see it.
Oh man, just little burgers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I like it. Oh, yeah, I mean, you're not going to show us the burgers? What's going on?
Yeah.
What is this? We're getting the gun show. I want the burger show.
For real, right?
I get you. Hold on. Here we go. Y'all keep talking it up, man. Here, I got you.
Yeah, let me see what you got there, Fred.
Man, that's the setup. You got the trampoline, and wait, now
the griddle.
Hold on, man. You know he knows what he's doing when the burger meat is in a ball. Only veterans are doing that. You know what I'm saying? He's about to smash the hell out of those things. Why?
Yeah, it's gonna
this
get
looks
smashed, brother.
good.
Let me show you the smash.
Cast iron smasher. Look at that.
Where's the smasher? Oh, he's got it.
Oh, and the Bills flops. The Bills flops. Look at that.
Look at this dude. This guy think he's something else, huh? You think you're something else over there, don't you?
No.
He's really he thinks he's that
man.
Does he ever?
Right? I've seen a picture of those burgers, man. He is that man. All right, let's see. I'm loving this. All right, can you walk us through it?
Walk us through.
Yeah. So the burgers, man. You know, these are classic smash burgers, man. So you gotta get them in the ball, put them right here on the grill, right? You got them seasoned just right. It's all about the seasoning, okay? And then you just smash it and you hold it on for a little bit. And what you want is that crust. You want that crust to pop up, man, off the burger.
Wait, time out. Is that bacon?
Oh yeah, you know I got the bacon. Yeah, I gotta have the bacon. So yeah, we got the burgers that are again.
Time out. Hold on. Yeah,
go ahead.
Hold on.
Let me
baby.
Because Rev, you know the pressure's on right now because the camera's on you. I got you full screen. Don't be burning them things now. People are watching now.
Hey, man.
Let me check out. Whoa. Now talk me through the strat there.
Yeah. It's all about the smash, man. You got to get the burger smashed.
You use the bacon bowl as a median between the burger and the smasher. What's the strat?
Yeah, man. Yeah. And see, so what it does is it just helps me get it flat. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I assumed that. I thought there might have been like some sort of secret to it, but all right.
Oh, I've got some. See, this is cooking in bacon grease.
Oh, that's what.
So the bacon was cooked, and you got all the bacon grease right here, man. And so when you smash the burgers in it, it just collects all the juice, man. All that goodness. You know what I'm saying?
Rev, do me a favor. Show me that apron real quick, because you can't just be not showing the apron. You got to let people know what's good. Show that apron up.
Oh yeah, man. Hey.
There you go. Homemade.
Oh my God, dude. Is this guy a veteran or what?
That's awesome.
The guy's got a personalized apron on. Get out of town.
I'm loving the Bills flops, though.
Now talk to me, Rev. We got the bacon chilling on the sidelines. What's the strategy there?
All right, so the bacon is cooked, man. So the bacon is just waiting to get on the meat.
You know
what I'm saying? So once I hit the flip, it's going to be the cheese and the bacon.
Oh, now I need to see that cheese action. Now I'm not even going to ask you. What the move with the cheese is. I want to be able to just see what your choice was.
I'm here with it too.
You feeling that? You feeling that, Rico?
I definitely am. Now, here's what I do love about what's happening here. I don't see any veggies on the. I don't see any veggies anywhere. Oh no, wait it now.
Oh no, I'm in on this. Now watch. He's about to caramelize those things. You watch.
He better. Oh no, he didn't.
Whoa!
It ain't done yet, baby. It's gonna be on the flip.
No, he's gonna flip it. Yep.
Okay.
You son of a bitch.
They get cooked on the flip, baby. Come on now.
You dirty dog. You're about to bake that. You're about to bake that onion right into the middle of that thing.
You already know, Z.
Burger.
All right, wait a minute.
Well, listen, Rev. Them burgers look good, brother. I gotta give it to you. You kind of had me a little shook when you put the onion straight onto the burger. Then I realized you're about to flip it. So
dude, he's got all the gadgets, man. You know, like that's definitely like not your standard spatula there.
All right, check it out.
He's got it down. Here's what I'm really impressed. Oh, wait a minute.
Hello.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Now I can see that crust. You seeing that, boys? You seeing that, Rico?
That's what you want, right? And you want that crust. You see, let me lean in on it.
All right.
Let's get in there.
Here's when you know that you're next level, because I mean the average Joe has got a little barbecue and you know what I mean, you do your thing,
right.
But the griddle, that is next level. I tell the wife all the time, all these things that I want, you know what I'm saying? But I'll settle for the smoker. I'll go for the smoker first, but the griddle though, that's everything.
Rico, flat top, man.
Rico, you're blowing my mind. All three things that you want, we have done, like, for my job, like video production and stuff like that. Those are three of the main products that we spent weeks filming, and you are spot on. All three of them are killer, man. You got to get in on it. Now, this thing right here.
Hey, so you guys been killing that show, man.
Yo, Rev, is that a Blackstone?
It's a Blackstone, baby.
Yeah. So the Blackstone. Let me tell you what, that thing is. Rico, listen, you're gonna get your money's worth out of that in about a month. I'm telling you, man.
Dude, look at that thing. I'm envious. Look at this guy. This freaking guy, man. Yo,
look at the crust on those babies.
I'm impressed.
Yo, that front right one, I call dibs on that one. That one's really catching my eye.
But let me see, Rev. Are you gonna douse? Are you gonna put a little barbecue on that, or the seasoning is it? That's
no barbecue, man. No barbecue.
You can't be doing that. Thank you.
No.
Thank you, Rev. Rico's gonna put a couple dollops of sour cream on that bad boy when it's all said and done. I think that's what he's gonna
do. Now, if you like cheese.
Whoa, am I seeing some provolone?
There you go. You got it. You got the provolone right here, right?
This is your first asterisk.
Yes, Ronald.
I was hoping for something.
We ain't ready. We ain't done yet.
No, we ain't done yet. All right.
No. You got to top it with the American.
All right. Okay. We're back on track.
Yeah.
Now I like the strat on the two different cheeses and the two slices. Now you absolutely. Oh, wait a minute. That looks like we got a third cheese coming along here.
No, this is for the family. You know what I'm saying? So they're vegan free. So they're vegan. So.
Ooh.
They're dairy free, so I got to go with the vegan cheese.
Oh, I was gonna say vegan. Well, you're making the wrong dish.
No.
Hold on.
No, this is for the kids, man. The rest of the family.
Let me bring it back here. Hold on a second. So you mean to tell me you're making all this good food, and the family's vegan?
Breaks my heart.
Oh no, bro.
No, he meant they're dairy. They're dairy. Like I think he meant dairy free.
It's dairy, but it's called vegan cheese. It's dairy free.
Oh,
no, I respect that.
I apologize because I heard family's vegan. I said, what?
No, he did say that. Oh, wait a sec. Whoa. You did not just spatula scoop the grease on top of the cheese.
I mean, you got to make it melt, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about flavor. It's all about flavor, and it helps it melt even better.
You gonna put some blue cheese on that thing or what?
No.
Now wait a minute, because I know we're getting to a part of the segment of which the burger process for Rev goes. He's about to pull out a move that I very much respect. That is very, very seldomly done in this game.
What's that?
You know what I'm talking about, Rev?
Talk me through it.
Well, first of all, I believe he's putting the thing back on top of the cheese. I mean, is it not going to stick?
Yeah, it helps it. No, man, it helps it melt.
Okay. No, so Rev's he's going to do something in a minute here that to me is a real veteran move. I mean, your amateur is not going to do this next move.
And I see Levi's talking his next move up like it's going to be something special.
Wait a minute.
And it better be. What's going on? He's got
wait a minute. That wasn't it, but I forgot about the bacon. I forgot. So yes, fantastic.
But I don't know what movie you're talking about, baby.
I think you do. I'm just going to wait for you to do it.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I think you do know it, yes.
I think I know. He better do it.
If he doesn't, I've already hyped it up way too much, and he better do it because he was talking a fat game about it the last time, and it got me excited.
Well, and if he doesn't, guess what? He's removed from the damn stream. You better do the move.
I don't know what y'all talking
Rico,
about.
I got my mouse on the remove. If he doesn't do it,
you have that mouse on the remove.
You're perma-banned.
Yeah, perma-banned. Oh gosh.
Well, listen, he's loading that bacon up real good. So
I got no problem with that. I mean, that is not missing any bacon. That's for sure.
I think
I'm just going to be waiting for the reactions of Rico and Bot here.
I know what you're looking for, man. But these are all singles, baby.
No. Well, I wouldn't have minded that, but that's not what I'm looking for. Although that really would have definitely taken it to another level, but that wasn't what I was.
So you got to tell me, man, 'cause I don't know what you're talking about.
Because I was waiting for the double.
Oh, you were? Oh, so we weren't even on the same.
I guess we were, because right now
I'm going to give him like 20 more seconds because it's getting down to the wire here where it needs to happen, or it's just not going to happen at all.
What you got, man? What you got?
Knows it, man. Bacon on every single bite. Let's go, man.
I don't know what you're looking for, man.
So you're done here, then? Is that well? Before I get into it, you're telling me you're done? This is all, the process is over?
You said they're singles.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, these are done, man.
No,
I can't leave them on too long.
Meat's done. I'm talking. Is the process done?
Yeah, well, I got to sauce it, man, but I gotta go in the kitchen for that.
What?
Well, he can save the sauces for his lady.
Yeah, no, not sausage. Sausage.
That too. Sauces too. And the sauces.
What is it about? Tell me what you're looking for, man.
Thank you. I got Alan coming in. I got Mr. We got a lot of vets in here who know what I'm talking about.
Sam.
Where
hey.
Rev.
The buns are cooked inside, man. I already got those toasted.
God. Oh, you pre-toast. See.
Yeah. I already got them butter toasted, man. Yeah, that's done inside.
I was waiting to see them things.
Oh, you want to?
You would have sent me. This guy.
No, yeah. I already got that process done, man. I'm sorry about that.
You did it already, because I really thought that you were kind of,
You know what I would have loved to see?
Skimping out.
Toasted, especially on a griddle. You have a griddle like that, you got to put the buns to the side and let that.
Exactly. And you want to know what's crazy, Rico, about this Blackstone? You can change the temp of each side. So one side you can have those bones.
Yeah,
I had to. You can't tell
me. It's 4 burners, man. It's 4 burners.
Temperature. I have to go and talk to the lady right now and say, F the smoker, I'll get the griddle. The griddle I'll do. Look at this, man. You can change the temperature? Give me that. Give me that. That's what I need. Yes.
Oh my God. Yes.
Bing biggity burgers. That's what I'm talking about.
Bing biggity burgers.
No,
golly.
Lev, what's the side dish, man? I know you're not just going in there empty-handed on that plate.
Oh no, I got the fries already cooked up.
The Rev fries.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Good.
Now, when you're at home, are you air frying those, or what's the?
No, man, they deep fry, baby, deep fry.
You got the mini deep fryer in the house?
Yeah, I got a deep fryer in the house, man. So so these burgers are ready to come off. I don't want to leave them on any longer before they burn. I'm gonna go ahead and transfer them to the buns inside, and I'll come back with the finished product.
Well, listen, hold on a second.
How long is that gonna be?
Yo, my man,
how long you want to show?
You really just squatted in an apron.
Yeah, they were
squatted in an apron.
He's about to leave us outside solo for 20 minutes while he goes inside.
No, you ain't gonna play it like that. First and foremost, Rev, I gotta listen. Appreciate you, bro. You came through with it. My man Rev came through with it, and I was hoping that you were gonna slide one of them patties on top of the other patty. That was what I was hoping for.
Yeah, these are the singles, man. These are singles tonight.
Yeah, yo, bump that single, man. You got to go with the double patty.
Oh yeah, I know it, man. But it's late. But
listen, I appreciate you, man. And I'm gonna let you go handle your family.
That made my damn night. Thank you, Rev.
Yo,
Rev, you got to get sponsored by Blackstone now. You're selling like 30 of them tonight. For all the BF listeners, and you're gonna probably sell like.
We already know Rico.
You're gonna sell like 5 to Rico.
Yeah.
Rico's gonna buy one and give him like 4 to his friends.
Hey, this thing is a game changer, man.
You telling me, yo, forget the smoker. I thought I was all in on smoker. Forget about the brisket and the smoker.
Man, you can cook everything on this thing. Breakfast, pancakes,
hold on,
eggs, whatever you want.
Rico, timeout. You know what? Hold on. Hold on. I'm about to blow your mind.
That's so
I'm
great.
gonna show you.
I'm gonna dip real quick. Let me go take these off.
Rev, listen. Rev, did you take off already? Rev, listen.
Yeah, I'm gonna go put these on the bun, man. I'll be right back.
Before you leave, because I know they're gonna burn up a little bit, but before you leave, let people know the apron. You got a business, you know what I'm saying? You got burgers, letting people know what's good. You can't just sit there and just
I got you.
Act the damn fool, not put a double patty on that. I'm disappointed in that, and you didn't give He didn't give my man
Yeah.
Z-Bot his funds. But
It happens.
in all seriousness, my man Rev's got his own business, the homemade burgers, wings and things. Love it. Rev, keep up the good work, baby.
Right. Appreciate it, man. Food truck coming soon.
My man said, yo, Rico, my man's meat is burning, man. Let him get out of here.
I turned the heat down, baby. It's good. It's good. All right, guys. I'll see y'all later, man.
Peace, bro. Okay, you ready? You ready for this? Because I already got a nice little intro into what I'm going to get at here in a second. Who said it? Johnny Y said it. Cooking breakfast is actually fun on those. So I'm about to show you the promo video I made for the Blackstone, Rico, and it gives you a perfect example of just the capabilities, but the breakfast element is the one that really, it really takes it to a whole other level. Wait till you see, just how far we really went ahead and took this thing. Wait 1 second. Hold on. Because I want to show you how many eggs we put on this thing.
Now you got me excited now.
Hold on. Here we go. You ready? Here we go. Here's my promo video for the Blackstone.
Hey guys, it's Danny's Kitchen Sink on Weigh Day. It's the craziest 48 hours we are ever going to have because we've got some big discounts.
Should have bought it then, Rico. Should have bought it during Weigh Day from Wayfair.
You can make on anything in my product drawer. We're going to jump straight in and have a look at one of the best deals of the day. It's $60 off the 28-inch Blackstone flat top grill. This is an amazing price because guess what else you get? A bigger saving because you also get free shipping. Big ticket item, big percentage off, and then you get the free shipping. It makes it so much sweeter, the deal. The Blackstone 28-inch flat top grill is the most versatile and unique way to be cooking this year. The 28-inch cast iron seasoned flat top allows you to cook whatever you want.
We went off.
The versatility is unbelievable. Everyday grills limit you to what you can cook. Generally, you can only cook meat. But look what we can do on the flat top. We can do vegetables. We can do bacon. Look at the size of this. I've got a whole carton of eggs on the top of the flat top, and then I've still got room for bacon and the vegetables. It's unbelievable. But also with the size of the flat top, you get a beautiful compact structure that has great storage.
That's the thing. It is pretty small.
Maneuver anywhere. And the great thing about the Blackstone 28-inch flat top grill is the simplicity. All you got to do is connect your propane tank.
What is it?
And ignite your flame, and then
it works right out of the box. You literally do nothing but that.
The beautiful thing, what you see is a dual burner, and you actually have control of the temperature.
Here we go. So I was telling you about.
Unbelievable. So as you are turning the dial high or low, you can also choose to have one side of the grill as a warming station and the other side of the grill to be the cooking station. And the ease of the control of this brilliant grill. The Blackstone 28-inch flat top grill is the ultimate outdoor cooking solution. I cooked up a bunch of stuff today that I wouldn't even imagine of cooking outside. But then this is the great thing. You can still do your dogs, your burgers, your wings, whatever you want. You're definitely going to want one of those in your backyard this summer, and today is the day to get it. It's $60 off with free shipping.
Now let me just tell you this. That video doesn't even do this thing justice. You really can just tee off with this thing. You can do anything. And the thing is too, you don't like, how you cook a burger on the grill, whatever. You don't lose what you get from the grill because it's a skillet, at all. But on top of that, you can also do, we were making pancakes outside with that thing.
Dude, the one thing I noticed they didn't do on there, and I don't know how good it would be a steak. Could you do a good steak on a griddle? You
could do anything. The reason we did the stuff we did there is just to kind of show the different stuff you can do. But I don't think there's anything you couldn't do, really.
Listen, we might have to hit up Blackstone and be like, yo, watch this clip.
I'll tell you.
We got a lot of Bills fans that love to grill.
Well, we were doing that for Wayfair because that's who we do business with. And somebody commented in here, the big thing for that one was the free shipping on it, right? Because that thing is huge. But, dude, and you want to know what? We got another one. They make two of them. They got that one, and they also have one that doesn't have the wheels and stuff, so you can just pick it up kind of like a serving tray and just, dude, you bring it anywhere. Bill's tailgate. And all you do, Rico, with that one, you just screw on a little propane canister on the side and you're on your way.
Well, here's how effed up this was, because before we get out of here, yo, you got me all juiced up now. I'm gonna start looking all over the place for this stuff. But I was even gonna go as far as I went to. You guys may not have it in the States. Is Leon? It's like a furniture store that has all these appliances and so on and so forth. Anyway, long story short, I was about to go and grab like a griddle that goes on top of your stove top, little tiny thing, and let it heat up from underneath and go from there. But I'm like, I can't do that. I need the real deal. And that Blackstone was not a joke. So listen, man, you got me.
Well, the thing with that is too, and this is how you can convince the lady, because not only can you do that stuff, but you're also going to be able to do the stuff that you were thinking about doing with the smoker. Now I get it. It's not the smoker, but I think the best way to kind of, add the sweetener to the convincing is the fact that you can wear both. You can wear both.
Listen. Ziba, Ziba, you sold me already. And then the beautiful thing was, I was like, wait a minute, he's got a griddle. Rev was sitting on a griddle doing a smash burger. What?
And not for nothing. I mean, he wouldn't. I don't think he'd do it on anything but the best, because he takes that. I mean, you see him, man. He gets into that. When you bring up food with Rev, man, he's like me talking about whatever dumb stuff.
I'll tell you right now, Evan is a young buck. You know what I mean? I don't know if he throws down in the kitchen, but Ev, when you start,
not really.
When you do, you're gonna be as excited as we are. Right now, you're just like, it's whatever. But when you do, you'll be just as excited.
Yeah.
So my dad actually just bought one of those Blackstones. We have it out at my camper out there.
Ask Daddy to get on the freaking grill.
Yeah,
I think I think he actually made some steaks the other week or so. They were pretty good out on the Blackstone.
Bacon flavored pancakes? What?
You never had that? You never had that?
No, not bacon.
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
The finished product. Let's see it, Rev.
Let's give him a
hungry.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, he's got the to-go box. He's shipping that out to Rochester. Oh, he wasn't lying.
Got the buns. There you go.
We got a crisp on that. I don't want any soggy.
Babe, it's crisp. It's crisp, man. You can't look.
Scratch it for me so I can hear the crisp.
Like a hockey puck.
That'll do.
You can't hear it.
I can tell though. I can tell you. It's not streaking or anything.
Yeah. You caught that.
It's got to be the scratch of Zach's beard.
Yeah, exactly.
I got my own sauce. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is the spread. This is my garlic Parmesan spread. So I load this up on both ends of the bun. You got to see, the burger's got to be juicy, man, and full of flavor. I can't have a dry burger.
Now, every time we talk to Rev about this, he definitely always emphasizes the fact that he double buns it when it comes to the sauce.
Oh, you double bun? He sauces
and top bun.
Yeah. Now, once again, the double bun spread. When did you come up with that, and when was it that it really hit you? Like, that's the strategy. We're doing that every time.
Man, it was just when I started doing it, man. It's because, especially if you got a good spread, you want it on both buns, man. You just don't want the bottom bun or the top bun. I mean, I got to have it on both.
You got to be spreading your buns.
You got. It's like a PBJ, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to put that on both buns. You can't just have it on one.
Rev, you need to stop your talking and take a damn bite of that damn burger. You've been playing with that buns too much.
I'm getting it together, man. Too
much.
You got to be patient, baby.
Take a bite, damn it. Take a damn bite. Look, you're Z-Box.
Hold on. I ain't done yet.
I know.
There you go.
All right.
Now you're really killing me with the angle here. I wouldn't mind getting a little closer. I see the fryer, by the way. Nice and compact. Loving that.
Oh, he's got the T-foul fryer. I got the same one. Good man.
Whoa, Rev, what is this? What is this? A kid's meal? What's up with the fry portion there?
Yo, I told you it's late, man.
Now, I want to believe that you serve your family in the to-go box to really give it the Rev.
That is amazing.
Authenticity of the food truck style. I gotta tell you, man.
Oh, yo, those are home fried.
Dude, those fries look.
It's home fried, baby. Home cooked, yeah.
You didn't
cut them myself, man. Home fried.
Those potatoes, man. Yo, Rap, you have one of those levers you put the potato in and then pull down on? I know you do.
No, he hand cut those.
Oh, you hand cut them with a knife?
These are home, man. These are.
I mean, he's in another.
These are homemade. Cut potatoes.
Yo, take a bite of the damn burger, man. Stop
What
playing
the
with
hell,
me.
man?
Who eats fries first? You don't eat the fries. You eat the burger first, bro.
Let me see if I can get this a little closer, baby. I'm trying to do the Zoom on my phone.
Before you take a
From the
bite,
great 89, Thomas Sweeney. Tommy Sweeney putting in the request.
From 3.
bro, I know people that eat fries before they eat the burgers. Stop that psycho business. Take a bite of the burger.
Rav didn't just throw
I
the
got you.
right on the
You ready for it?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Here we go.
I got to tell you what.
Get in there, boy.
No. Wait, yo.
Get in where? The buns?
You got it. No, come on, man. Look.
Come on, take a bite of them buns.
Here we go, fam. Here we go. It's for y'all.
There you go. There you go.
Damn.
Burger. That's a burger. There you go. Big
Take a
fella.
look. I got to tell you, you know what?
That's
It
good.
kind of gives me a Five Guys look, and that's good because that's what you want, I feel like.
Rev did the damn thing.
This is the crust ring right here of the patty.
Now, has the fam been served yet, or are you kind of just saying screw it? I mean,
Oh no, they're eating, man. They're eating right now.
no. See, I was really hoping that maybe you were going to send me up one or two of those in that box.
Nah, he ain't sending that. Oh, he's double dipping. There you go.
I want to believe that Rev wakes up and puts that sauce on like a piece of toast in the morning before he starts his day.
Listen, my man John says 100% for presentation. You get 100. 100 for presentation.
No doubt,
Well
man.
done, sir.
Take a bow. Take a bow.
Well, listen,
You can
I'll
put
tell you
that sauce on anything.
No, Rev, here's the problem. We keep really showcasing the hell out of these insane burgers. And the problem is there's no one that lives within about 1,000 miles of you. I mean, we really need to get you up here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. We got to get to a game, man. We got to get to a game here.
No, well, we
Just
got to
take a bite
get you
right
up
there. Look
here.
at it.
Mortar is what we got to do.
impressive. There you go. Look at
Any
that. Look at that.
closer, that thing's going to be inside the battery of the phone.
Dude, let me tell you something, man. Not something about Bills fans, man. We love our Bills. You know what I'm saying? Rev is cooking up burgers. We love the barbecue. Listen, it just works hand in hand. This is perfect. And and Bills fans love their beers. You know what I'm saying?
That sauce, let me tell you, man.
That looks good.
I mean, there won't be a morsel of that left in that bowl, and for good reason.
Yeah, good
Now,
shit.
what do you do? Do you just make like 3 or 4 gallons of that on a Monday and then use it throughout the week and then re-up on another Monday, or how do you do that?
It's got to be fresh.
That's
Got to be fresh, man.
Yeah,
Well,
Juan,
listen-
you and me both,
Moving
man.
to Texas. Come on, Juan.
I was just in Texas too, and I didn't even get the Rev food.
Yeah, but Texas
I think
is huge,
stop
man.
by.
Where in Texas are you? El Paso?
Yeah,
Austin.
I'm
Well, he's in El
I'm
Paso.
at that western tip right before you get to New Mexico.
Boy, don't talk to me about don't tip. Pause with that.
You
Yeah.
got to go to the
Look-
tip
look-
if you want Rev's buns. I mean, that's basically
Yeah,
what
you
it's all
talk
comes
about
down to.
Look
pause, about tip. Boy, you
Look
better
at the
stop
map.
that.
That western tip that kind of goes like this on the end.
There
That's
you
where El
go.
Paso is.
Well,
Yeah.
listen, man. Rev, you did it. Yeah, that's the way you can cap the show. You know what? You did it, man. You can cap the show off like
And
that.
ultimately, if we're talking about training camp to put a bow on it, that's what a burger should look like, not the damn veggie burger.
Forget those turkey burgers, man.
Yeah, forget
Exactly.
the-
Thank
Nah.
you, Rev.
Bro, actually,
Nah.
I saw a picture of the turkey burgers in its plentiful fullness. No, it's a no.
Yeah.
for me.
Did you
No.
see Tre'Davious White ate 11 of them in 2 days? I
Yeah.
saw that. I'm like, dude, there's no way. Imagine if they got their hands on the Rev burger, man. These guys wouldn't even be able to walk on the field. They're going to be so loaded.
No, they be out of shape.
That's
The downfall of the Buffalo Bills, the Rev Rhodes burger.
there you
Yeah,
go.
man.
Yeah, we can't have you do that, man, because you're gonna screw us, or nobody's gonna be able to play.
Absolutely.
and the bacon, Applewood smoked bacon.
Well, I wouldn't expect
Oh.
it less. I didn't think you threw some of that Oscar Mayer in the microwave. You know.
Let me put it this way, man. Rev, if we can make it to game 1, if we
Yeah.
can make it to game 1, you need to bring us. I don't care what you got to do. If you saran wrap that thing real good, bring us a damn burger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll have them cook out at the tailgate. Have them cook out at the tailgate. We'll bring them a Blackstone and have them cook out live at the tailgate.
You guys bring the Blackstone. We'll go shopping before the game. I'll smash some burgers, man, and we'll do it.
Real question. I know a lot of folks. Are you a lean ground beef type of guy?
Oh, that's a great question.
Thank you. I love the face you
What
just
is he
made.
all Angus? Are you all certified USDA choice?
I do that, but man, I do 80-20.
Oh, you do 80-20.
80-20.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
if you were to throw that on the scale, what are we weighing out to? Because I know you're smashing them; they're a bit thin.
About a quarter pound.
All right, I'll take a quarter pound.
Yeah.
I think maybe we might want to bump that up to a third when we get to the Bills tailgate, but I'm all right with it.
Yeah.
Yo,
I'm telling you, man, they're feeling. They
my
are
man, New
feeling.
Mexico EJE, man, he's been a long time follower, man. He said, "Yo, Rico, man, Rev is right by me, man. I'm heading down to him ASAP."
Oh, you in New Mexico?
Find him.
Yeah.
Find
we
his
right
ass.
there.
There you go, man. Listen, man, we've been rolling for about 2 hours now, bro. So we're gonna let your ass go.
Dude, I forgot about time after watching this whole thing.
We appreciate you, man. We're gonna get
man.
Enjoy the family. Take one more bite.
Thank you, bud. Thank you, dude.
One more bite for the road.
Cheers.
Make it count.
Rev Rhodes.
Make it count. And he's gone.
Man, that looks awesome.
He's out of here.
No,
that makes me want to go to Five Guys now.
It does. You know what? With Rev, I just noticed he's not a double biter.
No, he's not.
He's a single biter. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know how you can do the double bite?
The double bite is just you're doing too much. You do double bite. Well, what for? You're coming back to the same burger. You don't need to finish it in one bite. Chill out. One bite, pull out. You know
Especially with those buns. One bite, everyone knows the rules.
No, you're showing greed. You're showing greed. Unless you got 2 or 3 more.
We are American, Rico. Okay, that's spoken like a true Canadian. We over here, we will triple bite it if we have to.
You're a damn fool. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys tuning in with us. We talked a little football. We talked to some good heartfelt moments. Caroline says Zeba would eat through a damn foam.
She ain't kidding, man. She knows.
I bet he'd eat through anything else too, as well. But anyway, we're gonna move on to that. Folks, enjoy the rest of your evening. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We gave you a little bit of everything, some heartfelt moments, some football talk, and the thing that we all love is food. The love for food. And my man Rev just came through, man. And how dare someone triple bite into something? That's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. But you know what?
I feel like, you know how like when they say in the Chinese culture when you slurp the soup, it means you're showing that you love it. I would say in the American culture, the triple bite, the more you bite it in a single bite, the more you love it.
The triple bite.
Yes.
I like that.
Now, when I get the Red Burger in hand at the Ralph, I might even quad bite it, Rico, depending on what we got going on that Blackstone.
Is it maybe I'm just a weirdo, but do you sometimes will shove a few fries in a burger just to really
no.
I've definitely done it. Oh yeah, I've done it.
Oh man, I'll shove a few extra fries in that bitch and really have myself a time.
I don't know if the Canadian culinary culture has gotten to this point of gluttony like we have up here. Do you put the fried egg on there?
The what?
The fried egg on the burger?
Fried egg? I'm sorry.
There's no way this is the first time you're hearing this, man.
I would never. A fried egg on a burger? Those things are separate. Do not.
Dude, there's no way we're doing this again. How right was I the last time we got into a tiff about what I was telling you is good for you? And it was
a fried egg? Ooh, I don't know about that.
You had that?
I've never had it, my friend.
Evs off in Wonderland here. Have you ever put the fried egg on the burger?
No.
God, you guys are making me look like a damn fool out here.
He Raleigh says, "Yo, bro."
Thank you, P. Raleigh. You're the man. Thank you. Renaissance.
No, I've never even done the fries in the burger.
Well, I mean, you know,
is that the Royale with cheese?
Now, the Royale with cheese is the quarter pounder in England.
Gotcha.
Pulp Fiction.
Got it. That's what I'm bringing it up for.
Huge fried egg on the burger guy. In fact, Caroline, she'll even go as far as to fry the egg for me. That's how. I mean, that's just in you know, that's how you show love here. You fry the egg and put it on the burger. Wow. I can't believe you haven't even heard of this. I understand if you haven't tried it.
Fried egg on a burger.
Well, you want to know what you said earlier that I kind of let you walk on a little bit, and somebody brought it up here. Now, King Cam, I don't know if you're saying that in a good light, but Rico did say this earlier. Why are you doing that? You're taking away the flavor.
Am I though? Because if you don't, I'm not asking you to douse the burger with barbecue sauce. A brush of barbecue sauce.
All right, okay, wait a minute. You're talking about like maybe how you would brush the like ribs?
Brush. I'm not saying to like. Come on, that now you're just eating barbecue. Do you want burger with your barbecue? That's not what I'm saying.
So you would get the little culinary paintbrush out and do that.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm fine with that. The big difference. When you said barbecue, I thought you were talking about putting it on there like you would ketchup.
No. You brush it because you still want to taste the flavoring. Well, I mean, all that work you did by seasoning the meat, you're just gonna throw it away by putting barbecue. Just brush a little barbecue and call it a day. Now, throwing an egg on that, I don't know. I might have to try it. Just like we went to Arby's and I had to try out Arby's and make sure that I needed to be there. I might have to try the freaking fried egg on a burger.
You know what Evan told me today, by the way, speaking of Arby's, we were just kind of sitting in the bleachers and we kind of like a moment of silence. And Evan just looks at me and he goes, I got to tell you, man, I really regret not going to Arby's with you guys.
Bro, you missed out, bro. Evan, you missed out, bro. You missed out.
I was like, oh my God. I literally told him, I go, I'll never forget that as long as I live.
I'm gonna tell you this though. We were just in a place called Bridgewater. Remember I told you there's a place that's about an hour and a half away that's got an Arby's.
Yes.
I was in Bridgewater and I was like, oh, I'm tempted, but we were so cut on time. I just wanted to just go in there. Even the wife was like, you got to take a picture if you go there. I was like, we don't have time. But
it's so funny to me what that it got to the point where you even got the wife telling you got to take a pic. Well, how did this happen? I will never know.
I said
the draft weekend ruined us.
Dude, listen, it's just, I don't know what happened. It's just Arby's became a topic of conversation and we found ourselves eating.
And we ran with it.
You had a beef and ched.
God, I went nuts.
We had those horrible wings and it was a great time. I mean, the
wings were the worst I've ever had in my life.
Oh, man. I'm sorry.
Other than the Hooters in Toronto, but I told you that story.
Steamed buns. How do you feel about that?
I'm out on that. Wait, is he talking about the steam buns from like at an Asian restaurant? Or are we talking about steaming the buns for the burger?
I'm not opposed to a steamed bun. Maybe for a hot dog, a glizzy, if you will. But a steamed bun, I'm indifferent. I'm not hating it.
Darth, yes.
Fries on your burger, yes. Potato chips.
Now, chips.
Potato chips.
Now, chips. Oh,
listen,
on a nice sandwich.
Yo, you got me. Like I was trying to get off this thing, but you guys got me into food talking, and we still doing it. We still got 150 people watching with us. Chips, though, someone put me on that.
Doritos.
Game over. Doritos.
Nacho cheese. Sandwich. Just nacho cheese Doritos.
Are you a picky eater?
Very.
Me?
Okay. See, this all makes sense now.
Very.
This is why this makes sense.
Don't bring me coleslaw. Don't bring me
screw coleslaw.
Don't bring me lettuce. I don't do it.
No, you know what? This all makes sense now, and it's fine that you don't like it now. I get it. I thought you were just like, what the hell? But picky eaters, I've been around some picky eaters in my day. It's a real thing. It's a real thing.
It's a damn real thing.
I've gotten used to it by now. So
you can't invite me to your crib if you're like, hey, we'd like to have you over for dinner. I can't be the guy that says, what are we having for dinner? Just so I'm sure and know.
So you got a brown bag.
I'm out.
You got a brown bag to the dinner party?
I'm gonna find a way. I'll be like Jerry Seinfeld and
oh my God, the mutton! He's putting the mutton in the pockets. The dog's chasing your wife down the street.
That's me. Yeah. Oh, it's really good.
Those are grandma Mimi's.
Exactly. But anyway, gentlemen, great show. Always fun times to get with you guys. We should always do it again.
Gosh, this was a
I will be I'll be away doing some family things. Oh, by the way, for anybody that lives in Alabama, I'm actually gonna go visit my sister in Alabama at the end of the
I've never been.
I'm going to Alabama. So who's in Birmingham? Whoever's in Birmingham, hit me up. I'll be there. My sister lives in where does she live at? Hoover City. I don't know if that's a thing, but anyways, hit me up, man. I'll be I'll be in Alabama at the end of the month. So we will do it up. But folks, have yourself a fantastic, freaking great night. Camp football. Stefon Diggs signing autographs, food talk, Rev show.
Hey, scrimmage tomorrow night, by the way, for the Bills.
Tomorrow night.
I'll be there.
I'll be able to be there, but I won't be there. But I'm going to try to make my way to try to watch it. Or at least it's not televised, right? It's like,
no, I wish, but I'm looking forward to hearing some stuff. Make sure to keep us apprised, Deb. I want to know what's going on.
I'll probably end up running the BF Twitter, but man, that connection in that stadium sucks. So good luck trying to get some.
Well, the whole thing's made out of cement. I mean, it's just one big bomb shelter in there, you know.
Yes, sir. We're gonna have to find a way, man. Evan, hold it down tomorrow, my G, and we will do this again next week, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, you got my man Z-Bot in the corner. You got my guy Evan to the right. And he's going to be holding it down tomorrow at camp. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. And until next time, we will check you guys on the flip side. On 3, should we say go Bills? Cringe?
Up
Go
to
Bills!
you. Up to you.
Go Bills, baby.
Go Bills, baby.
Go Bills.
He's
You guys have
officially a Go Bills guy.
Yeah, go Bills guy. I'm officially that guy. Cringe. We'll talk to you guys on the flip side. And you guys have a fantastic night.
Peace.
Peace.